this on? You need to tap the thing and do is this on. Hopefully this is all working properly because there's an awful lot of lag on the screen I'm seeing at the moment. But we'll try our best. We'll try our best to make this work. Welcome to the Sunday service, which is a Christmas special version of it. Loads of giveaways to get through today. Hopefully you have found yourself in a position at Christmas this year to have a good time. You're not having a hard time of it, but look, it's actually going well for you. Hey, Con Man, thank you very much for joining. You look like you've got a little icon of Santa, which is very good. Hopefully Santa is coming to your house, but if he's not, fear not, because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something happening this Christmas. Andy McAfee has joined us immediately. We just got here straight away. What is your giveaway? Tons of things, Mo. We have loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of things to give away. I'm going to go through all the stuff to give away in a few minutes and how to enter and how to get your stuff moving. Hi, everybody. My God, so many of you have been waiting for this. Is deadly. Make sure you click the like button because I really want Google to push this one as hard as possible so we can give away this to everybody. See, I've got a little Santa hat on. I'm right beside a Christmas tree, which I hope doesn't fall on top of me. And hopefully the connection will remain going perfectly because there's been some problems there already. Hi from Sweden, says, I can't pronounce your name, but congratulations on being here. Some of the things I'm giving away, one of them is this. This is a jump starter. It might be backwards on your screen, but it's actually a jump starter thing. It's really good, yo. It's got a USB charger in it, and it can jump start up to a 6-litre V8 engine. Yes, the giveaway can be sent to anywhere in the world, but I don't know about this because this is a great big battery thing, so some of the stuff might not go through the post. But there's loads of other things. So we have a set of Bluetooth headphones, which are sponsored by Firestone, which is pretty good. That's a thing. Super Chat is available in my area. It is certainly. Hit it, man. I've been getting Super Chat for months now. So happy Christmas to everybody. That's another gift we're giving away. Here's a really cool gift we're giving away. A BMW i8 concept. This is actually a computer mouse that's in here as well. So this has a little concept just made by Land Mice, whoever that is. But it's actually an official product from BMW. What else we got? I'm not going to show you the grand prize just yet. Hold on. I got a mug, 50 years of Ford. Merry Christmas, everybody. 50 years of Ford flask mug thing, which is a Ford Mustang mug. You can have that as well. I have a man bag, I think this is. I don't know if it's a man or a woman bag or whatever it is, but this is a Say It Munster Rugby, Driving Munster Rugby, sort of a kit bag thing. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. That'll fold up really cool. These are all brand new, so like, there's no nothing happening here. Like, these aren't used or anyway. What else we got? I have another Munster thing. If you're a Munster Rugby type, you might like this kind of thing, which is a Munster Rugby Adidas jersey, official product as well. Again, with the labels on it. What else we got here? I have, oh, this is quite nice actually. I don't think it's going to fit me. It's kind of lady sizes. I think this one is. It's an Opal Adam t-shirt. So I got one of those as well. Again, this is an official product straight from the Opal group. It's got Adam written on the top corner, shoulder up here. Make it probably a little good workout t-shirt or something maybe. It's not technical t-shirt. Now for some of the bigger stuff, right? This is a jacket. It's a BMW i jacket. Now it's made for Arctic weather and it's made by a crowd called Storm Tech. I think this retails about 300 quid, 250 quid or something. I've seen this somewhere before. That's one. And then I have this very nice, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this already, but I have this very nice, I have to find the top of it now, Rally School Ireland technical jacket. This is a Pirelli sponsored jacket, Rally School Ireland on the back of it, and a total thing on one side. This is a real technical jacket. It's a real, I don't know what you'd call it, it's sort of a neoprene type jacket. And then the grand prize. There is only one of these in the entire universe. I went to a launch of a BMW 6 Series and I met the designer while I was at it. And I got the designer to sketch an original sketch of a BMW 6 Series. As you can see right there, it's actually signed on the bottom by the designer, by the sketch artist. So he drew that for me. It's been in this BMW notebook ever since. I haven't taken it out. It actually has the new BMW 1 Series on the top of it, but he drew this for me. He's the designer of the thing. So this is an original drawing, and I'm going to give this away as well. So I'm going to put that in an envelope, just the drawing into the envelope. The notebook is full of crap, right? It's full of stuff that I've written over time. But that's going out. That's going to be one of the best prizes you can possibly have, because there is only one in the world that is an original drawing, an original sketch by the original artist, that's not copied or anything, that's properly drawn into the thing. So you can have that. That is the overall biggest prize that you can have here today. There's no price that's totally I don't know how you'd even gauge the worth of that thing. So all of that I'm going to give away today. That will only be given out to subscribers. So if I pick a winner, I'm not going to pick a winner obviously here right now, but if you win, so if you enter the competition and I scroll through and I find out that person is not a subscriber, you're ineligible. So you have to subscribe, number one. And number two, you can, you know, look at Patreon or PayPal or whatever it is you think will keep this channel free and occupied for months and years to come. And if you can support that way, great. If you can't, well, it's okay. As long as you're a subscriber, I'm okay with that. Now, I missed an absolute jockload of comments since I started giving this on the prizes. So, what's the giveaway? I want you to give away. Hi, y'all. Hi, everybody. Everybody's come in. A giveaway can be sent anywhere in the world. I'm just not sure about the battery thing, although that did come from America to me. So, I imagine. Andy says Super Chat is not available, but Super Chat is available. I've got Super Chat before, so I'm sure it is. If not, you can use Patreon, you can use PayPal. PayPal.com / is it Bob Flavin? Anyway, bobflav@thenextgear.com is my email address. Santa has much better beanie hat. Yeah, it's a good hat, isn't it? It's very nice. Happy Christmas to you, DSG. Brilliant. Good, nice to have you here from Clogheen, County Tipperary. Good man, Kieran. Well done. Hi, Bob. What cars do you personally own? A BMW? I don't know what a BMW. Say it, Leon. 1.6 petrol. It's an 11-year-old car. It's ancient. The one outside the door, press car, currently is the Hyundai Kona. Merry Christmas to the Saint. Well done. There's a scared old Santa in the screen. Oh, that's me. That's all right. No, I don't have the beard. I haven't got a beard. Grand Prize 2006 Seat Leon TDI. Andy McDee is giving away his Seat Leon. You're all very happy. Yes, of course. Went to a Skoda dealership yesterday to see the new Octavius. It's a beautiful car, about 18,000 for the sedan middle spec. Skoda Octavius is a lovely car. I really like that. I like the 1 litre petrol, by the way. We're like children playing around before a teacher comes to class. True, days, you're just messers, the whole lot of you. How do you stop coughing? Have a drink, maybe. Have some Lemsip. Have a hot whiskey. Hot whiskey is a good one for stopping a cough and making you feel just a little bit better. Don't ever drink it dry though. Hot whiskey is okay after that. Don says, hi Bob, just been looking at new Jaguar F-Type 2 litre. Have you any thoughts on this car? Keep up the good work. Don from Portsmouth in England. Don, if you're going to go F-Type, go balls to the wall F-Type. Don't go the kind of cheapy route. I know that's very easy for me to sit back here and say that, but if you want that coupe small engined feel, then go for something like a Mazda MX-5 or even a Fiat. What's the Fiat little version of the MX-5 called? Go one of those if you want that kind of runabout, but you don't want to have to pay the big bills of a big engine. If you're going to go Jag, then you're going to have to spend a bit of money and get the real one, and a decent one at that as well. If I ask you all a favor, please click the like button. If everybody clicks it very quickly, then more people get a notification. You're not telling your friends and family that you're watching this. You are telling Google that this is a good thing to be watching. Yes, one of my sketches on the giveaway. Say she sells seashells in the seashore. I can't do that. And I've had nothing to drink. Hi Bob, back as always. Good man, Marcus, good to have you here. Happy Christmas, Smitty. Happy Christmas, Wills. Greetings from the snowy north of Sweden. Oh, snowy north always makes it sound very nice, but I know it's probably icy cold up there as well. Hi James, James McDermott. Fixit was using a Croatian VPN server. Oops, must be, oh, you using VPN now. What were you doing with VPN there now, Andy? Explain yourself there, and don't you mention any pornography. Alan Thomas, hey Bob. Andrew says, all right Bob, new car prices seem really high these days. If you're on the market, would you buy a new one or nearly new? I'd save on a depreciation. Stunned by new car prices. I was too as well, Andrew. I was looking at the price of that Hyundai Kona today. The one I'm actually driving is a 1.6 litre turbo petrol, 175 brake horsepower with an automatic 7-speed box, and it's nearly 30 grand. Just a touch under 29,950 or something. That seems really high for what amounts to be a small car, you know, a small little engined car. But I just thought it was extraordinary, and prices seem to be going up. Now, kit levels are going up as well, and that's a problem for me. I want you guys to get the best value, and I always recommend trying to get a few toys that are always fun and to have and interesting in the car, but it's driving the price of the cars up the whole time. I was told the other day by a dealership I had a fierce effect on these sales when when I said about some sort of a technical thing in the car. It was quite good. But yeah, prices are starting to creep up, Andrew, for sure. I would certainly look into nearly new because there's a lot of pre-regging going on in Ireland. So at the end of every month, just in the beginning of next month, dealerships, car companies will register an absolute stack of cars and then give them out as a discount over the preceding months. That's definitely worth looking into. If you find something 6 to 8 months old, I'd go for it, man. That's the one I'd be after. Buying brand new would only be a case if you really genuinely wanted a particular color or particular style or particular alloys where you have to order the thing from the factory. Other than that, really, it's got to be nearly new off the forecourt, but a little bit cheaper. A technical question. Oh my God, this hurt my brain. I need to have lie down before I start this. Sort of, what is the legal position with building, certifying, registering newly built kit cars? Okay, so that's a two-pronged question. If you're in the UK, you don't have to do anything. You can build your kit car. Most of the kit cars are certified for the UK market. You can build your kit car, you can drive it, and then you have to get an MOT to get tax, insurance, and register the license plates on the road. Now, it could be a different story if you get pulled over by a police officer in the UK and dragged out of the car because you're driving like an idiot and the car isn't safe either, right? In Ireland, the rule is different. You cannot drive a kit car or any imported vehicle without a license plate, without going to the NCT centre first and having the car NCT'd. Hence why I haven't built a couch like Ed China and driven it down the road, right? Because it wouldn't be allowed here. And so you're going to have to, you can buy your kit car, you can bring it into the country, you can build a thing, but you have to put it on a trailer and bring it down to the NCT centre and get the thing checked out safety-wise first. And then once that's clear in NCT, if it passes as NCT, you're clear to go wherever you want in it after that. But obviously to pass NCT, it's going to have headlights, taillights, indicators, wipers, all of the usual kit and caboodle along with a normal car. Now, if you're figuring on building something yourself, in other words, you're kind of, going to rip a moped engine out and stick it into the back of a couch thing, it's never going to pass an NCT. But on private property, so if you go to Mondello Park or you go to, I don't know, if you own a place in an industrial estate and you can go inside where it's all closed off, it's on a private road, you can do whatever you want. You can drive whatever you like, but you won't have any insurance. So that's the technicals of that one. But in the UK, it is very different. There is some good laws there. That's why, like the Top Gear built those electric cars and drove them down the road. That's another question I want to feel you out. Is anybody watching the Grand Tour on Amazon? Or has anybody watched the Chris Harris show, which is the BBC Top Gear show currently? But have you watched the Grand Tour? The first 2 episodes are out. I've watched both, and I'm kind of slightly impressed. Just still some of it's all wrong. But yeah, just to say, good and objective. Like now that you've been a present for me. Happy Christmas, Bob, you and the family. Thank you very much, Zedenko. You're very kind. Adrian says, hi Bob, looking for a family saloon, which would be better, 151 A4 SE or 151 Passat Highline? Passat Highline's going to be a better, well, from personally speaking, Passat Highline's going to be a better buy, I think, for you because it's much more of a family car. The A4 is much more an executive saloon, slightly tighter back seat, slightly smaller boot, slightly smaller all around in general. The Passat's actually quite a big vehicle to sit in. If you go for the estate one, you're going to get a gigantic car. Alternative to that, look at the Skoda Superb for something really big, or Skoda Octavia for something kind of middling between the two. Really good. Both cars are really good, but I would probably pick the Passat Highline and spend the excess that you're going to spend on some options like the glass cockpit or something. Marcus says, hi Bob, I've been subscribed since this was Smokers Pack. It's still called Smokers Pack, do you know that? What massive prize do I get? Well, you're in the draw, obviously, for all of the prizes that are here in front of me on the table. I'll go through all the prizes again in a few minutes for those who are late joining. Where were you? We're 14 minutes in. You missed it already. Happy Crimbo, says Jay Spuds. I want to start a kit car building company in Ireland. Would it be as easy to do this as in England? Nope, it isn't. For sure, it's not. You can, of course, build kit cars all you like as long as they're for private use off roads. A bit like those little Remember those little tiny scooters that guys are zooming around on? You can ride them all you want around Mondello track, but you can't ride them on the road. They just get seized and taken off you. Happy Christmas, says Nicholas. John says same thing from Grimsby. Grimsby? Is that up north in the UK? Andy says, I want to see if I could send some super chats in random currencies and bouncing different servers. That's an interesting idea. Maybe the super chat isn't available in the servers you're picking out, though. It is available in most countries in Europe, though, as far as I know, and definitely all over America. Happy Xmas Bob fellow, Braveheart Extra, Paul from Limerick. Come on, Paul! We got to meet up and have a chat. I was in Braveheart a very long time ago. There's a video of that on my channel somewhere. That was like 90... Was it 90s or 80s? I can't remember. It was 90 something, anyway. 94 or something like that. Back when Mel Gibson was snorting coke. It was great crack, though. It really was. Really, really good. Bob, any plans to test drive the new Nissan Leaf soon? Nissan Leaf, isn't it? Yes, I do have plans to do it. It's not in Ireland yet. There is no release date directly in Ireland for the launch or whatever. But Nissan intend to hold a launch here in Ireland. We're going to see the Leaf at that and see its range. I'm very curious about the real world range of the thing. I'm like a lot of buzz about that Nissan Leaf. Nissan have put a lot of money into that thing. I shared the stream, says Conman. Good man. I love your little icon. Just ordered a 2-litre TSI, say it, Ateca. Am I mad? No, you're not. It's a really good car. Ateca is really good. Don't know about a 2-litre TSI. I probably would have went 1.4 TSI, but if you're longer range, 2 litres fine. Absolutely perfect. George Falls, good man. George from Carlo. I met George once before. Ready for my freebie now. Good man. Don't get greedy, says Des. Don't, because I can't give up something to everybody. There's like 50 of you watching right now this minute, so I don't have 50 prices. Bob, you're doing a review of the Kia Stinger in Ireland. I certainly will. I have it booked in for the 3.31 and it's somewhere in January. I'm sure Gillian from Kia will be on to me at some point. Tell me it's definitely not January, it's February. Something like that. I was talking to Gillian the other day in Mondello. My last video, which was a drive around Mondello Park in a Kia Stonic, was completely unrehearsed and unexpected, but it was really fun. It was good fun. That I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed talking to Katrina. Hi Bob, do you ever have a favourite driving road over in England? Anywhere, Rick, yeah, asked that, or anywhere around the Evo Triangle. Have a look at that. It's kind of middle of the country. There's some really beautiful places down around just where Wales borders England. It's a beautiful area down towards sort of southeast area, but it's along the Welsh border. Gorgeous, but there's nowhere to drive. I mean, you can't drive fast. There's obviously like 60-mile-an-hour zones everywhere. So it's a bit hard to kind of drive that fun part. Best thing to do down there is to take down a little Triumph or something small like that. Stephen Carney says just in. Was there another part of that? Did you hit return when you're in the middle of actually typing something? We have SVA in the UK, so they'll need to type approval. I might consider business model for Ireland. It is, nobody really ever went down the kit car route in Ireland and building their own cars. I don't know why, whether the law existed forever or it's just now coming into its own. There's a lot of scope to it. We also have a problem here with getting oil from chip shops or running on different fuels that isn't registered and stuff. We have problems with that same thing here as well. So there's a lot of laws and things covering taxes here. More like a technical problem. Cleverly building suspense. What suspense? I don't know nothing about suspense. Andrew says, I've enjoyed the Grand Tour. I like the new track with half dirt. I wasn't keen the Ford GT needs a V8 just to feel a bit more special. They're the bits I'm enjoying. The bits I'm enjoying are the pre-recorded bits, the bits where they're done on location. It's a bit of a laugh. I'm watching it, you giggle along with them. The old humour's kind of there and not so forced. The bits I absolutely hate are these celebrities, these people I've never heard of, come on and start driving cars. And the segment's too long. Conversation Corner, meh, that's a bit meh as well. It was better when it was just news. The second episode was better on the news segment. The first one felt very forced, just talking about bums or something. I don't know. It wasn't great anyway. Interesting, but still not right. Where are we? Right. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, looked at the Superb, same price as Passat, would be better for VW resale value. Not really, Adrian. PCP has governed the price of everything, so you're not really going to lose. You'll know how much the car is worth before you ever buy it. So I wouldn't worry about the resale value of a car. It's all fixed these days. I don't mean that in a bad way. There's no sort of conglomeration going on, but generally it's all kind of fixed. I just watched season 2, episode 1. I take it that is of the Grand Tour. Saving episode 2 for Christmas, same as before. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I do too. I definitely enjoyed it. I can see the old Top Gear element coming back into it again. We'll see what happens. Summer 1994 was Braveheart. 23 years. Oh my God, man, I was a different person back then. But yes, we were in Braveheart. It was great crack. I really enjoyed my time in Braveheart. I would have went back and done it for nothing. I think I was 18 weeks or something on Braveheart. A gigantic length of time. Made a mint and basically pissed it up against the wall. Italian, have an Italian prize. I don't think I have an Italian prize, so you're on your own there, George. I don't know if I have an Italian prize. Sure, we figure something out. Have you done a review on the Alfa Giulia? I have on the Giulia diesel, and I have done a kind of handy drive on the Quadrifoglio 4-leaf clover version of it, the fast one, but it was on the launch day. It was crashed since the press car one. I didn't crash it, not do with me. It was crashed though. So they were waiting on parts. There's no parts to be gotten in Ireland. They had to get the Italian group to send over the part. There isn't a single part of that thing that's anything to do with the Alfa Giulia. So it was crashed. So once that's fixed, I'll get a spin in the fast version of it as well. And I'll drop down to George Falls while I'm there as well. And I'll come along to some Sunday outing thing that we do. And I'll bring that car with me. Try to serve in Argentina where it works, but it wants payment details on an Argentinian address. Oh, well, worth a try. You can support this channel from Super Chat. Super Chat is right here. If you've supported the channel in the past, or you support the channel today, or I get any messages today, you get 2 entries into the prize draw for all of these prizes and things that are sitting here in front of me. So you get 2 chances to enter, 3 chances to enter actually, because you're probably supporting 2 ways. Huge amount of Patreon, beautiful, lovely people that send money through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/the next gear. You can go over to paypal.com and you will find Bob Flav, the next gear.com is there. Or there's a link in my comments below this video for both those things. Or you can hit the super chat thing here, which gives you more ways of entering. If you're a supporter in that direction, obviously there's a whole different set of rules because you don't come with the same rules at all. Where were we? I think Clarkson is actually a good interviewer if he focuses on that. He is, but I find that he goes for the fun element of it all the time, and then I don't really have an interest. If I'm watching an interviewer, I'm there. If I'm watching a Talking Heads, is what it's called in the trade, but if I'm watching one, I'm there because I'm interested in what the person is saying. Okay, that's it. I'm interested in what they're on about. And on episode 2, I didn't know who the lads were. I never even heard them. One of them was a cricket player and somebody else, so I didn't know who these guys were. Looking good with the hat. Looking forward to GT Stinger. Yeah, the hat. That's my. I don't know where we got this one, but it's a proper like Santi hat thing. In, says Oren. Come on, Oren. In seems to be the word today. Hi, Bobby. Really getting into the spirit of Christmas today. Any interest reviews coming up? Loads of them. I have filmed umpteen reviews over the last while, so I can put them out, stage them over Christmas. Next week, I'm filming my Christmas special video, which is a video I do that is directly related to Christmas. And I'm going to do it in a Skoda Superb. An estate one, I think it is, with DSG. So that's going to be the Christmas special video. But I've loads of videos to put out. I've loads of things on my laptop right now that are up for editing. So I can get a couple of days off and still have videos coming out for you guys to watch. Loads of stuff. The Range Rover Velar is in there. That Hyundai Kona is outside. There's a Ford Mondeo. There's a Renault Zoe. There's a load of videos that I haven't put out yet. So there's loads of stuff coming up, yeah. Leah Carroll. Hello, Leah Carroll. Leah Carroll is a very good friend of mine. Family doesn't know. She's actually just dropped in there a second ago. Very long friend of mine, and still a friend of mine today. We're going to probably drink into the night. Can I say how much I love the damn Sunday service? Happy Christmas, Bob, says Leah. Thank you very much, and I'll probably see you on Monday. We have the soft cars on Monday. Big meeting on Monday as well. Any French car reviews coming up? French cars. Renault Zoe. I don't know. I'll have to look at my calendar to see what I'm actually getting in January. I know I have a Mazda MX. No, I haven't. I have a Mazda in January. I know that. Yeah. Oh, deadly. My laptop is actually on. Hang on. I'm going to go into my laptop and have a look and see what cars are en route. I know I have the Aircross. That's coming as well. But I don't know when. That's the problem with that. I'm going to start my calendar here. Do that in a minute. With your Grand Tour, love the recorded bits, the celebrity bits skipped all. Yeah, I'm the same. I kind of skipped through all that bit. I just went, nah, boring. Maybe Bob's stuck in the chimney. Bob's stuck in a chimney. Oh, it could be, yeah. I could be your Santa. Can you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and finding me creeping around your bedroom laying presents out? Mazda 6 bought for January, hearing bad things about the tire irons. That would be that's tire related directly. So tire irons is often down to the model of tire rather than just the car itself. Sound deadening pads disconnect you from that noise most of the time. Generally speaking, there are certain tires that are louder than others. The more grip, the louder the tires. I find the tires in that Hyundai quite loud, but it's a four-wheel drive, so they've put on these kind of winter tires. It is a very nice car though. Well done on buying a Mazda 6. It is a good car to buy. My God almighty, Smithy, you are so generous. €20 has come in from Smithy already. You're so good. And Jay Spuzz has put in €10. You're brilliant. John Tate, thank you very much. Top man Bob, keep up the content. Merry Christmas has put in €10. You're so good. Thank you very much, everybody who's just put in money already. We've only started. It's such a really, really, really big gift at this time of the year, particularly for guys to put in money into the Sunday service and into just keeping this channel free. You can as well if you want to through Patreon. You can find Bob Flavin on Patreon or on PayPal, which is bobflavin@nextgear.com, or right here in the super chat thing, which goes into my YouTube thing, comes out next month. It's really generous of you to do that. Brilliant. It's a simple way to support the channel, and I'll always, as much as I possibly can, keep everything free on this channel. I'm always in negotiations with YouTube to try and make sure that everything stays off the YouTube red thing. So just to answer somebody else's question, what's coming up in January? I have my calendar open right now. I have Citroen C3 Air Cross is coming the second week of January, I think. Mazda MX-5 is on as well. The T-Roc, the Tiguan and the Allspace are being launched on the second week of January in Ireland, so I'm going to be driving those, so expect a video out of that one for sure. Ford Fiesta, Ford Edge, Mazda CX-5. Kia Stinger is actually the first week of February, so yeah, Kia Stinger's on the way. There's a Hyundai, believe it or not, Fastback coming up as well, which I also have. That's on the way too. Kia Niro plug-in hybrid electric vehicles on the way. Skoda Rapid is on the way. Skoda Octavia, something or other is on the way. There's absolutely bucket loads of cars on the way for review. I'm sort of booked out until about March, I think, next year for cars. No, even into March and April, some bookings as well. There's an E-Class Coupe and an Audi A3 and stuff. So there's a few cars. I've actually got an Audi S3 coming as well. I think it's an S3 or S3. There's an RS3 on the fleet soon. I'll have that coming up for review as well. Really looking forward to that one. You're very good. Going back here, hold on a second. Bob, which is better, a Seat Arona or Hyundai Kona? Should I just stick to Fiesta? That's a hard question. Seat Arona I haven't had for a whole week, but I was really impressed with it on the launch. I think it's a really, really clever car. The Ibiza is a very good car as well. To become one sort of based on the other. The Kona is troubling me because I've only driven a 1.6 litre. George Falls, you're a very generous man. Thank you very much. You just put €20 into the pot. You're so kind. You guys are just brilliant. This is brilliant. You're so good. New equipment on the way. Make no mistake. But going back to your question for a second, the Kona is confusing the crap out of me at the moment because it's a 1.6 litre petrol, 175 brake horsepower for no apparent reason, and automatic when it should be 1 litre manual and low power. That's what you'd expect, but the press car is the other end of the scale. So it's a kind of an odd one. I'm not massively impressed by the Kona. It's an oddball looking car. The Stonic seems like a more traditional type of car to have. But the Seat Arona is the one that impressed me most so far, but then I can have it for a week and end up hating the car. So that's just the way things are. Andy says the newer, larger capacity 41 kilowatt Zoe EV is out in the UK now. Is it out in Ireland too, or are we likely to be doing real world range review? I've had the longer range Zoe. Zoe's a very clever car, very underrated car. I do like the Renault Zoe, but it's not without its problems. It's pretty basic inside, you know, there's not much, there's a lot of plastic. It feels very light. It feels, you know, it's an electric car, but it feels every bit of an electric car. Whereas the market for electric cars has kind of moved on and Tesla has driven it on a bit. And so the Hyundai Ioniq feels like a luxury vehicle. The new Nissan Leaf feels like, and look, well, I haven't felt it, but looks like a luxury vehicle interior as well. So there's lots shifting in that direction. So the Zoe's kind of left behind. But if you go back a generation or two, you could certainly have a good crack with the Renault Zoe, or if you look for generation 1, just when Renault brought it out, they started to lease the batteries. The Renault Fluence ZE, that's going to be dirt cheap very soon, because they're going to cancel that leasing the battery thing. They have to. It's not working at all. They will. Gavin says, my niece is looking at buying a 2012 Fabia VRS. Any opinion on it? It's one of the best cars in the world. There you go. There's my opinion on Skoda Fabia for sure. Great car. If it can come a little bit newer on the Fabia, if you get the current generation one, I prefer to see it better. But Fabia has always been a very underrated car by Skoda as well. I think Skoda has been hesitant to put a lot of effort behind the Fabia because Polo's there, because there's, there's a lot of internal competition in that same segment, and Skoda was afraid to really wipe the snot of them. But Fabia is one of my favourite cars, and the VRS just great crack. Be careful of worn out clutches. Be careful of over-revved engines. Any blue smoke in the back, just walk away, Gavin. Walk away, man. Any blue smoke out the back of that car. Or any smoke. Steam is okay. Smoke is no good. Merry Christmas, says Illegal Criminal. That's a great username. Research oil consumption issues, CAV, Gavin O'Brien. There you go. You see oil consumption, right? So oil is always a problem, Gavin, on those faster engined cars, especially with the higher the mileage. Any of the VAG engine, VW Audi group engines, over the 100,000 kilometers tend to burn a little bit more oil than normal. Merry Christmas to you as well, George. Canon C700. What's a Canon? I know what a Canon C7. What do you want me to talk about? Is it good or bad? All the Canon ones are good. Canon cameras are very good. I'm polluted with Canon cameras, but I don't have a 4K Canon camera, and there isn't one. Canon 80D would be where I'd like to go to next, but I wouldn't be that fussed. Some of the Sony stuff is really taking my attention, but they're very expensive. And the problem with going to 4K or even 2K is the file size becomes giant, and all of a sudden you have to upgrade your laptop, you have to upgrade your phones, you have to upgrade everything around the edge of making it a bit bigger. So everything has to scale up. So it's not just a matter of buying a bigger camera, you've got to buy bigger equipment all around. So if the best camera you have is the camera you have with you, and that's usually your phone. You've always got a phone in your pockets. If you've got anything around an iPhone 5 onwards, or a Samsung Galaxy S3 onwards, those kind of phones, you'll easily take good photography, video with it as well. Or you could go for a Canon G7X. The Mark II one is slightly better than the other one. So there's lots of stuff around the edge you can do with camera equipment. But I have given, like I've used cameras in the past, and I've given crap cameras to good photographers, and I get good camera work back. So it really is down to the person using the camera as much as it is down to the camera itself. How old is Barack Obama? Do you know what? I have no idea, but that looks like spam now. But anyway, I have no idea, but there is a Barack Obama plaza down the road. I haven't a clue. Manny, I'm okay, Manny. Thanks very much for asking. You're very good. Manny797. I love using it. That's gas. Bob, the wife's car is on PCP, Peugeot 308 diesel. Okay. Any opinion when to change the car? It's 18 months on PCP. Is it better to pay off or stay on PCP? If you're financially okay. So if you're all right to pay the balance and hold on to the car, that's probably the best way out. That's if you're happy with the 308. If you're not happy with the 308, the best thing to do is to get to the 3-year mark and boom, trade it in and pay off the balance and get a new car out of it. I'm not a big fan, as much as all the financial marketing guys are trying to shove it down my neck as hard as they possibly can. I'm not actually a big fan of PCP. I'm not generally a big fan of finance in the first place. I'm much more of a traditionalist, even when it comes to cars, and I think you should probably try and aim for owning 50% of the vehicle you're driving. And then you can finance the rest, either that through a family loan or through a credit union or through a bank, through a car, an auto loan. And I know the interest rates can be way different, but right now PCP is an unknown balance. And unless you're capable and really regimented about paying it off and having the balance ready to go at the other end, and that's the biggest issue, is you got to pay a upfront cost. You got to pay for 3 years, and then you've got to have that balloon payment left. And if you don't have that, you're going to get nailed. You're going to have to give the car back. you're going to have to get out of the financial arrangement. You're not going to have a car, and that 3 years of payments are gone, and they're gone into the car. So I'd like you just to pay real close attention to that when you're going after these PCP things, to be aware that in 3 years' time, you're going to be nailed to the cross for that extra money. And if you don't have it at that point, you're going to have to deal with that. And that's going to hurt you financially one way or the other. You're going to have to deal with something. A drink of water is required now next. Sean O'Neill, bud. Big equipment? Why are you into big equipment? Do you like heavy equipment? Kia Niro coming to Sweden late summer with 2 batteries, alternative 1 to the same range as iconic run around 400 kilometers. Yep, and there's a plug-in hybrid electric version of the Niro being launched here next year. We already have the hybrid version of it here. Very subtle sales on it, very small sales. That's probably the way Kia is pushing at the moment, is they're pushing towards their current stock. They don't want to mess with it. And the Niro is a bit of an oddball as well, so I suppose that's probably on their mind. George Fall says, if a Ferrari does 250 miles on half a tank of petrol, what colour are my granny slippers? I would probably suggest that 250 miles on half a tank is actually probably too far for a Ferrari, and you're probably driving it wrong. But your granny slippers, I'd say, would probably come in a lovely check. Very, very similar to my shirt here, a nice little check version, I bet you. I bet you're not wrong either. Half a tank or a petrol, says Andy. You're dead right, it certainly does. If you haven't seen what prizes are on offer today, and this is the giveaway, so if you just wandered into the place right now, hit the like button, because that tells Google that this is happening and they put more people this direction. That's number 1, of course. Number 2, you can support this channel by going to paypal.com paypal.com and finding bobflav@thenextgear.com is my email address. You want to do by PayPal. You can do super chat here. You can also do, super chat is the little dollar symbol down below. You click that, and loads of people have done that today already, so you're very kind. And at the same time, you can go over to patreon.com and give us just €2 a month to save starving. No, it doesn't work. €2 a month to get more equipment and more stuff done for the channel. But some of the giveaway stuff I'm doing today is things like this little mouse here. This is a computer mouse. It's a BMW i8 concept. It's an official product from BMW. I've opened it to see does it work, and it does work, and it all lights up. The headlights light up and stuff on the car when you're using it, right? I wouldn't, if you're a gamer or something, I wouldn't bother with it. It's okay, but it's not the if you play games, you're not going to use that mouse, right? But it's a good little transport mouse. I also have these really big but really good Firestone Bluetooth headphones, which are really, 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 really good. I quite like these things. €2 a month to feed starving memory cards aren't exactly. €2 a month to give me another hard drive to go into that thing. Go set up a Bitpanda account, and then you can have a Bitcoin Ethereum. What? Bitcoin? I know nothing about Bitcoin, so I haven't really researched it enough to know is it even something I can bother with. As far as I know, I remember Bitcoin starting out, so I don't know whether it's actually still. I know there's lots of money in it. I understand a few Bitcoins is like worth millions these days. I get that, but meh. Saw your Mercedes GLA review. Does Mercedes Ireland offer their engines in the GLA? Offer other engines in GLA there? I don't know. I haven't asked. Mercedes tend to offer all the engines in Ireland you can get anywhere, but they don't necessarily have them in stock. So they keep the normal stuff. Hudson, who has a very official looking username icon. Hi Bob, what do you recommend for 19-year-olds second car? You have a second car, 19-year-old second car. I currently drive a Skoda Citigo Monte Carlo 2016. Hold on to that. Don't say that. That's a great car. Skoda Citigo Monte Carlo, brilliant little car. All the car you ever need is in 2016, so it's a little over a year old. You could get good money by trading it in, I suppose. And if you want to move up the scale, you want to get something bigger. Well, I don't know why you want to, unless you start as a family or you need extra space in the back of the car. Then you're going to go for some of the B SUV stuff, so like Kia Stonic. If you want to stick with Skoda, which I generally don't recommend anyone stay with this. If you own a car in a brand, I don't recommend you stay within the brand. And salesmen will kill me worldwide for saying that. They really will. They hate that. Because they always want you to upgrade. It's what PCP is all about and finance is all about, is to keep you within the brand. But I don't really recommend that because it never gives you an idea of what it's going to be looking like. Hang on. 20 or second car. Still driving Monte Carlo. I'd still go a Skoda Octavia, possibly. If you want to go bigger, Kia Stonic is a good car. Say it, Ateca, no, not the Ateca, what's the other one called? The smaller one of the two, the Arona, that one. Skoda have the new replacement for the Yeti is on the way next year, so that's coming as well. There's another prize you can have as well. It's a 50 years of Mustang, Ford Mustang. It's a cup, a real one. That's quite a nice one. I like that myself, actually. I don't know why I'm giving that away. I like that thing. If you're a Munster Rugby fan or a Say It fan, you can have this little bag thing, which is really, really good. It's really good. These are all worth entering. So how you enter, number one, not to build any sort of suspense or anything, how you enter the prize is, number one, you have to be a subscriber. I'm just going to pick subscribers at random. So I have like 26,000 or something subscribers. So that's the number one thing, is you must be a subscriber to this channel. And I know the kind of people who do all the comments. I read every comment, not just on the live stream. I read every single comment. I stay awake at night reading comments, right? So I know every user who's ever been on the Bleeding channel and made a comment. Two, if you get a double chance at winning if you're a Patreon subscriber, or you have given a super chat, or you have given money by PayPal. Any one of those three ways that you can give money here, you can have a second chance at winning one of the prizes, or even win two prizes, which is part of it as well. There's another prize as well. It's an Opal Adam t-shirt. It's quite nice, actually. I quite like that, but it's a bit small for me, I think. I don't know what size it is. Hold on. What size are you? A size medium, it says there, and unisex, but it doesn't look medium. That looks really small. Like, that looks like a small t-shirt. I wouldn't say that's medium. That wouldn't fit me, and I'm not exactly massive or anything, you know. What else we got? Oh yeah, this jump starter thing, which I quite like. Now, I'm not sure I can send this internationally. This did come to me from a company in America who are called Noco, something or other. N-O-I-C-O. Really good. It's a jump starter, little pack thing. It also charges your battery on your phone, which is connected to a USB port in the front of it. And it's got a torch, and it has all the jump leads involved. And it can jump start a yoke up to 6 litre in one shot. Unused, they sent it to me. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with the thing. They said something about a review, but sure, I get brand new cars. How am I supposed to review that? You have to have a car broken down. So I waited like a long time for a car to break down, and nobody came to the door. So, but there it is. You can have that as well. I think these things are a couple of $100 as far as I know, to get these things going. So that's another prize. But the main overall prize, now forgetting about, there's jackets. So BMW i jackets with fleece interiors and exteriors. They're medium, they do fit me. Rally School Ireland jacket, a neoprene jacket. They're printed with stuff on them as well. Again, worth another couple of £100 or £100 or so, these Rally School Ireland jackets and things. So I've loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of prizes to give away, but you have to be a subscriber. It's the number one way that you're going to win any of this stuff, is to be a subscriber. But the main prize, and this is the one I think everyone is actually going to be wanting more than anything, is a unique prize, a really unique prize, which is an actual hand-drawn sketch of the BMW 6 Series by the designer of the BMW 6 Series. You can see he signed the bottom of it there. Calvin is written across the bottom, and it's from 2015, so it's 3 years old at this stage. But that is an exclusive. That is a hand-drawn, hand-sketched in a BMW notebook. I won't send you the notebook, I'll just send you the drawing, but I'm going to scalpel it out. So I'm going to use a little skill knife up here at the top and scalpel out that drawing, which was what I was going to do, and put it hanging on my wall along with other sketches I have there. But that is an original sketch. I'm going to give that away to somebody and put that in the post before Christmas. I can't guarantee you're going to get all this before Christmas, because like Christmas is a week away. But anyone who wins over the coming few days will expect to start getting prizes in the post. I'll be in contact with you directly. Also up for grabs today is a direct live one-to-one chat with me, which I will call you if you give me your phone number, especially through PayPal or through Patreon or PayPal. Don't leave your phone number in the comments below, for God's sake, right? Some guy did that, I had to remove that one day. You will get any amount of spam things. I won't mind, I'm not going to spam you. Half the country has my phone number, so I'm not worried about that. But you can definitely get in touch with me through email, which is probably the best way of doing it, other than this live stream. Like, I was looking into Fabia Monte Carlo. Good man. That's a great car. Any of the Skoda stuff is always, I have no problem with Skodas. There's no bad Skoda at the moment. We give it time. Any comments on the new BMW X3? I think that is John Bolton. I haven't driven it. I'm not really keen on their X brand. I think the X brand has never really worked properly for BMW. It's always been a little bit weird looking. It's hard to say really. X3 would probably be probably a good car to drive, but probably more like a B SUV than a proper SUV. Fergal Quigley says, loving the reviews. Thanks, Fergal. You're very kind to be watching the reviews. Column F, which Alpha was crashed? Missed that. Was getting coffee. The Alfa Romeo Giulia Quattro Fligio, the 4-leaf Clover one, it was crashed by someone on a test drive or something. It was supposed to be the press car. There's only really one of them in the country, which I drove. There is a video review of that there. It's one where I make a lot of noises and don't really say a whole lot about the car. But it was crashed. The front was pulled off it at some point, so I had to put it back on. But it's being fixed at the moment, and I'll get a spin of it in January, probably February, something like that. I don't know no one else is complaining about the picture being frozen. Des, is the picture frozen? The timer's still going and everything's still running on my end according to the system. Bob, what do you think about the Opel Astra K 1.6 200 PS petrol? I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't driven that many Opels. I had an Opel Insignia the other day. I haven't been booked into Opel Crossland X. There's a number of cars I haven't driven into, I suppose. So I don't know, to be honest with you. It's the best answer to that. If you just landed here a second ago, click the subscribe button, or at least click the like button. And thank you very much to the guys who are hitting the super chat button as well. It's really kind of you to keep supporting the channel in the way you do. It's a very unique way of going on, and it's a unique channel in Ireland still, even though there is some other channels like Sinead McCann's one, CBG.ie, who had a video channel there for a while. They've gone bust, which is terribly unfortunate for 22 staff this time of the year. It was a place I was actually negotiating to go to work. I turned it down in the end. It was just too big a commute for me, to be honest with you. It's based in Monkstown somewhere. It's a gigantic commute across the country, so I didn't go. So CBG.ie is gone, and their videos go with them. Unfortunately, Dara, Tuma, and the rest of the boys will move on to something else, obviously, but it's a shame to see at this time of the year someone going out of business, anyone going out of business. And it was lovely to have a bit of competition there as well, which is also good. It means you're doing something right. But Sinead McCann is still there doing Cars Ireland. We're currently kind of negotiating doing another channel between the two of us as well, which may or may not happen. We'll certainly be doing more videos together, myself and Sinead. In January, we have one planned. We're planning a second one. So there's a lot of that stuff coming in January with Sinead, but there's nobody else really looking to get into the video market on YouTube at the moment in Ireland. So there's a lot of funny stuff going on. John Tate says the picture's okay for him. How to create an app? Go to college, go to a programming shop somewhere and buy one. You can buy off-the-shelf apps. I know that, and get and adjust them and make them different. Think you're buying an Audi A6 or A4 Avant for a family car. What model and year would you recommend? 2-litre diesel DSG Audi A6 Avant in S-Line. Do you want me to write that down for you? Like a salesman. It's the only one to buy. It's really pretty. There's a couple of petrol ones hanging around, but the diesel ones are better, generally speaking. Don't buy a manual Audi A6. You'll never get rid of it. It'd be like having the plague around your neck. You just never get rid of the thing. Buy the DSG ones. Even it doesn't matter what you think about automatics. Just buy the DSG one. You'll thank me later. Hi Bob, did you ever crash any press cars? No. Well, yes, I did. Yeah, I did a Volvo once into the back of a van, but like at 3 miles an hour. It was the slowest crash in history, and we just kind of kissed, like bink. And your mum was all right. We're all okay. The car was wrecked, but we're all okay. Just the way cars are these days, they're very soft on the front. They're meant to absorb all these crashes, so they're very soft in the front. I have been crashed into twice. Once in a Volvo, actually. A 40-foot truck changed lanes at Newlands Cross and just bang into the side of one of the cars I was driving. It just picked up like 20 minutes before. And a Seat, I got crashed into a Seat years ago when I first started doing this. A transit van ran into the back of me on a roundabout here in Portlaoise. And funny enough, he had a church symbol on the front of the transit van, and I can't remember what it said, but I just remember looking in the rearview mirror and seeing this big picture of Jesus. So I could see in the rearview mirror, he crashed into me. So yeah, I have crashed. I never intentionally crashed. No, I never really crashed any press cars, but I have been crashed into a couple of times. Bob, what happened to the event with you and Casey Neistat appearing? The company that was trying to get that on the go ran aground when it came to insurance. Trying to do a drone thing inside in Ireland was a bit of a problem for insurance companies. Casey was still supposed to come to Ireland. I had chatted to Casey a couple of times about coming to Ireland and doing a video over here with him, but it's just not going to happen, I don't think. There's just not enough interest in Casey Neistat, Ireland, talking about drones. Just not, I don't think there's enough. I've done other speeches and other tech talks since then, based on the same thing. I'd not headline-y type thing. I just turn up to these jokes and do them. So if you want me to come and give a talk in your town about tech, about YouTube, about how to be a YouTuber, about the future of business when it comes to YouTube and doing stuff around the edge of it, all that sort of stuff, I do all that kind of a tech talk joke. I do them in towns and small towns. Just get in touch with me and we'll arrange something. We'll certainly come along some night and do your stuff. That was for GOG Odyssey. Colin asked, Bob, your favourite rally car and driver from the Irish rally scene of the 80s and 90s? I was going to say Colin McRae is not Irish, obviously, but Colin McRae was the man who put rallying on the map of rallying worldwide. And of course, because I'm a gamer, I played Colin McRae's rally till I was sick of the thing. So I probably bought him his helicopter in that respect. So many rally drivers over the year have been influenced by what Colin McRae has done and how he got there and the cars he drove. Still an iconic, the Subaru 2-litre, or the Subaru rally car, the Impreza, totally iconic look. So many young guys went out and bought 555 for the side of their car just because McRae drove it. So McRae would have to be the biggest influence on me as a driver and generally on rallying across the world. Where are we? Keyless entry safe to have. Our cars with an option to be stolen. Manny, I'm not sure, but I believe that cars are being stolen. Do you know, the majority of people who are in jail for stealing cars they couldn't tie their own shoelace or even write down their name. I can't imagine any one of them sitting back with a laptop and trying to get the details of clicky things. I think that's news people trying to make you click links. I think it's just fakey makey stuff that happens once in a blue moon. Some young, intelligent hacker type who went, oh, you know what's a really good idea, let's do this. And they steal one car and it's like, well, that's very boring, let's not do that again. I don't think they've got the technical expertise to do it. I just don't believe it for a second. So I've had every keyless entry car I've had since 2000. I've owned the things since the St. Leon's had the doors keyless entry. So it's never been stolen. Thanks for good advice, no problem at all. Bob, that Find Your Love is a bot. Where's your mod at? I don't have a mod anymore. I don't have my mod actually. YouTube just gave up on that sort of stuff, starting to hire mods for live streams. And this will be counted as a very, very high attendance live stream, can I just point out, for Ireland. Very few live streams in Ireland. And I'd be one of the higher ranked live streams when it comes to Ireland anyway, at least. Worldwide, no. In my view, PCP is to take advantage of where a good offer and user get a good deal and how low APR, how you can always walk away at the end and don't see the risk. There's no risk, Des. If you're financially stable, if you're mature enough to have finance, to have mortgages and understand how loans work, there's no risk at all to PCP as long as you're financially stable, as long as your job is stable as well. If you're a young person and you're just moving into the car market for the first time and you're thinking PCP is a very attractive offer and you just got your job in wherever it is, someplace in Dublin, and you're buying yourself a car and you don't know where you're going to be in 3 years' time, it's also fairly stable because in 3 years you can just hand the car back as if it never happened. So they're two good plus sides to it. The bad side is you don't really own a lot of collateral in your car when you buy it out first. And you got that big fat ass balloon payment coming around the corner at you. And you also have dealerships who are piling on options onto the car because it's on finance. So they're firing in those options the whole time and signing up the service contracts and all. So there's a lot of stuff around the edge. So if you're mature enough and you've done this kind of thing before, you should have no problem with this. But if you are not that mature and you haven't done it before, it can be a big pain in the ass if things go wrong. Thanks for answering, says no problem at all. Thanks, Richard, for your comment, but I just put you there. A little timeout. There's a lovely little thing called put user in timeout these days, which is quite nice. John Tate says, if in doubt, flat out. Absolutely, buy. That's usually the best way. Actually, in the terms of rallying, if you're going off the road, you're taught, generally speaking, if you're just starting to lose anything, is to floor it. Power is generally the answer to solve most of your problems. Lancia Delta HF Integrale Turbo. Any thoughts? Buy it, put it in a garage, keep it there for about 3 or 4 years, and in 3 or 4 years' time, it will have doubled in price because we've none left. They're slowly disintegrating all around. But if you can find one in any sort of reasonable condition, you're going to be paying a fair whack of cash for it. Don't drive it on wet days. Don't drive it when it's too dry. Don't drive it. No, they're gorgeous cars, absolutely gorgeous cars, and I love them to bits. So yes, I love Integrales of all kinds, and the Lancia Delta is just send pictures if you buy it. What do you think about the new Ford Fiesta interior? I think it's pretty rental car style, generally Hudson. Most of those cars are the VW Polo, the Ford Fiesta, not the new Polo, but the outgoing Polo, Ford Fiesta. Those kind of rental car market cars, if you buy into the lowest end spec one, you are buying what is a rental car style. So the plastics are a little bit more harsh and things are a little bit more indestructible inside, and they're built that way. If you buy the kind of middle one, it's a little bit better, but still it's going to be, like the interior is still going to be fairly old fashioned. Actually, Ford have been caught sort of with their pants around their ankles. They haven't updated their interiors as quick as everyone else has. Currently got a new Passat 2-litre TDI GT. Is the Arteon worth the change? No, I wouldn't. Arteon's gorgeous from the exterior, but it's basically a Passat inside. Even though visually it looks different, you got those long straight lines. They're beautiful cars. But if you have a Passat, moving to an Arteon is kind of moving sideways rather than moving up. I wouldn't have said the same thing about the Passat to the CC. Once upon a time, the CC was a completely different car, felt different inside, everything was different about it. But the Arteon is just a little bit too close to the Passat in every way. Apart from the Arteon is a bigger boot, much bigger boot. It's giant, actually. Did you ever see the Fiat Punto crash 0 stars? That's just gas, isn't it? That's typical of Fiat really not caring a jot about their cars. They have been like that for a long time. They've done a lot of this sort of stuff where a Fiat 500 is attracting you into the showroom, but you drive out in a Fiat Punto. The Punto used to be a great car. We're going back to the 90s here when it was a really top end and the market was flooded with them, and Fiat nearly destroyed their own marketplace here by flooding the market with Fiat Puntos and then not taking it back in on trade-ins. And now you have a Punto which has come out which scored nothing. 0, which means that no one in the Fiat factory, and this is genuinely, and Fiat, if someone from Fiat is watching this, feel free to comment, but this means genuinely that Fiat invested absolutely 0 in the safety of that car, because I can tell you that I have sat with designers in having dinner with them, and you go, how many stars will the car get? And they go, well, it hasn't been tested yet, but we know it's going to get 5. That means they've been investing the last 5 years. They know exactly how they're going to get there. Fiat just went, who cares? Meh. Yeah, it's a Fiat. Fix it. So it's an awful situation for Fiat to be in, because now everyone knows that their cars are crap when it comes to that Fiat Punto. And I can tell you absolutely positively, do not buy a Fiat Punto with that level of safety in it. Even though my car, which came out with 4 stars, probably is only a 2-star car now, and the system moves on every single year, scoring 0 on a new car is just unacceptable. Jesh, hi Bob, happy Christmas. I bought a i40 a week ago, good car. It's a diesel, which I don't really need, but had no other option. My commute to work is very short, so I do need to take the car out to drive every couple of weeks. And now, many miles do you recommend I drive in order to keep DPF clean? Okay, so DPF, for those that aren't sure what that is, diesel particulate filter. It's a part of the car that builds up with soot from the diesel engine and stops polluting the environment. As that soot builds up, you drive the car till you reach a certain temperature, and then the DPF does a cleaning cycle. So it goes through the cycle of burning the soot again. It's not really about mileage, it's about temperature. It's about keeping the car at its maximum temperature, not overheating, obviously. But when you take a car out in a motorway, you'll find that the temperature becomes like 60 or 90 or 80 or whatever it is going to be in the middle. And you just keep driving at that speed for once a month for a half an hour, maybe 3/4 an hour. That should do it every time. The problem is that negates the need. I mean, if you're doing that once a month, all the savings you make on buying cheaper diesel is lost by having to take a drive when you don't need to drive. So it's a pain in the ass, but you'd have to drive it a little bit more often than you think. Okay, Colin says, Thanks, Bob, and a happy Christmas. I was lucky enough to see the McCrae Drive Malls Gap in Killarney in 2005. Wow, a Mark II Ford Escort. Crazy stuff. Still giving me thinking to watch the footage back on YouTube. It's amazing to watch the older guys drive their cars at such breakneck speeds and absolutely sail through the air, not touching the road at all. It's just an amazing feat to see every single time. Hang on, I'll get a drink of water again. Very thirsty today. Stephen Carr says, are you getting the Kia Stinger GT in Ireland? I certainly am. It'll be on test in first week in February, I think. It's the 3.3 litre one as well. They're not expecting big sales, but it is here. It's a great confidence boost for Kia to bring something that big. If it's anything like the way I drove it in, where was I? Wherever I drove it, I can't remember, not terrible. I was on a racetrack, it was really good. Arona or Karoq, is there anything else in the same class price range better? Better? No. There's lots of cars coming out in that range, so that's called BSUV, so it's an SUV but not quite an SUV. So there's lots of cars in that range. There's nothing really better, and I would suggest that Karoq is probably going to be the one that's going to come out top of that system. So I would definitely wait for the Karoq if you're Irish and you're waiting for it. It's just out in the UK, I believe. I think I've seen a review by the lads from Parker's the other day on Karoq, so I'm sure it's out at this stage in the UK, but it's coming here in Ireland. It will be here sometime in the near future. They haven't booked that in yet, but it will be there. Fiat, fix it again, Tony, or fix it again tomorrow was the one that I remember from Fiat. They still haven't shaken that off, and yet they're not the bottom of the reliability system, but they are certainly the bottom of the safety system at the moment. Wasn't a Punto a 10-year-old RE tested car? It doesn't matter when it was, what age it was. If they submitted it for testing, that's their fault. Hi, Father Bob Mass. Father Bob Mass, that's pretty good. Remove the DPF, morally wrong, but not legally. It's not just morally wrong, George. Unfortunately, it is just generally wrong. You're going to literally pollute your lungs with the worst possible soot and NOx, cancer-causing crap that you could ever do by removing the DPF. It makes matters 10 times, if not 50 times worse when it's not there. Plus, it changes how your car works. It changes the compression ratio inside the diesel engine, so you could possibly lose some horsepower and lose some abilities in that respect. You're probably better off buying a petrol car, but if you're stuck with diesel, you're probably better off stuck with the DPF than not. I'm back, says Conman. Good man. I'm glad to have you back. You're very good. Make sure you click the like button, everybody, and click the subscribe button. If it's your first time here and you've never asked a question before, welcome. If you're here for the giveaway, it's already started. There's loads of prizes to give away, and I'm going to be sending them all out over the coming week or so. Paul Collins, Bob, Merry Christmas. Disaster last night, driving home from Newbridge, and the clutch dropped on it. Oh my God, had the flywheel replaced a few weeks ago. Fluid is full. Any thoughts? Bloody hell, Paul. What kind of car is it? Remember what that is now. So you come back with the clutch dropped to the floor. Clutch cable, has the clutch cable gone? That would be the one thing I'd look at straight away. It's the most obvious, fastest solution straight away. The clutch cable has snapped along the way or has come out of its housing. If you had the flywheel replaced a few weeks back, probably the clutch cable should have been done at the same time. May not have been connected up properly, so you may end up with the clutch cable just going boom down to the floor. Opel Insignia 2011, yes, probably the clutch cable. They aren't prone to go, but when the flywheel is gone, you find the clutch cable needs to be replaced as well. A lot of mechanics don't bother with the clutch cable replacement system. They just change the flywheel and reconnect the old clutch cable. So it may have come off its housing, or it may just have snapped in the middle as well. But I would be fairly confident to say that the clutch cable has gone. The flywheel is still intact, especially if you're able to... So if the car still starts and it all still revs up and it was in gear, obviously the clutch cable dropped and the clutch disconnected, so your gear shift doesn't go. But if your gears are still good, the car is still starting, the clutch cable has come off. It's a pain in the hole at this time of the year, I know. Especially if the fluid is full. So if your clutch fluid has remained full, it means that the clutch hasn't fallen out on the ground and nothing's really gone bang too badly. Clutch cable is not that expensive. You could possibly replace yourself in a 2011 Insignia, but it's probably under warranty, so be careful doing that. When Punto was launched 12 years ago, it was the first 5-star Euro NCAP car in its class, so they didn't make it any more unsafe. They just didn't add in any extra stuff. That's unfortunately the problem, is that the the NCAP rating moves on every couple of years, and they put in more things to make the car safer. Generally, City Safe is the new one where the car will literally brake on its own. You know, the car hits the brakes when something has happened. It's not always reliable. I have had experience with the thing not particularly working that well. So it depends on the car itself. But when the safety system moves on, it's all about keeping people safer on the road. If the car companies just continually selling on the car as if, you know, safety doesn't matter, well, safety does matter. Every time someone dies in your car or has a crash in your car, you hope that your friends, your family, your kids, your wife is going to come home in one piece. If your car, like my car is an 11-year-old car, you know, it's a big car. I think it would take quite a considerable impact to hurt people inside that car, even though it's probably now a 0-star car or a 1-star car or whatever. But it doesn't mean that I want to go out tomorrow and buy a Fiat Punto and put my wife in it and my kids in it and let them drive all over the country in it. I don't think that's very funny. So I would get rid of that. I just wouldn't buy it. You shouldn't go near a Punto, no matter what happens. Thanks for answering. The Dacia Duster is better than that Punto. Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true. The Duster scored higher. Hi, Bob. Please say 3 Series. Do you know, I made a video a long time ago now, the BMW 3 Series, right? And in it, I set out to be as Irish as I could. So I did like the 33 1/3 and the 3 Series and all that sort of stuff in the video. And since then, the most commented video has been people just writing 3 Series or 3, T-R-E-E, like Christmas tree series. It was funny. So yeah, 3 Series. Irish people have a funny way of saying 3. We don't pronounce our THs properly at all. You know, find your love. That thing is just, I'm just going to do that. Now, goodbye. Thanks very much. X5 M50 diesel or SQ7? If I was going on that route, I'd probably go SQ7. Not because there's nothing wrong with the X5M, but the X6M is a better car. SQ7 is a lovely thing to drive. Very subtle. Both of them are very subtle. I probably wouldn't buy either of them, in fairness, Stephen, but they just wouldn't be my kind of car. I prefer something a little bit more subtle, a little bit more usable, daily usable. Most of these kind of fast car stuff, really fast car stuff, you need to have really high insurance, you need to have really high tax, you need to have bottomless pit of pockets when it comes to petrol and diesel to put them in all the time. Just a pain in the hole to use daily unless you've got a lot of money in the bank account. I had you version of the Leon once, a long wheelbase Ford Transit van sail through. I don't, that doesn't make, I'm assuming that's not your first language, English, but you're doing your best. A long wheelbase Ford Transit van sailed through. I don't know what that means. Hi Bob, what do you think of the new Hyundai Kona? It's the Hyundai Kona, and if you open another tab while you're watching this one and Google what Kona is, C-O-N-A, is in Portuguese. And then you know why they changed the name of it in Portugal. For those who don't really want to look it up. But Hyundai Kona is, it's a confusing car because I've only driven a 1.6 litre turbo petrol with 175 horsepower in automatic as well, which is a really oddball car. It seems like a nice car. It's a little bit hard, a little bit firm, but that's what happens when you lift the car into the air. You have to toughen up the suspension. But it's an interesting car. Unusual on the outside. I would suggest that the Kia Stonic, which is exactly the same car underneath, would be an easier car to live with looks-wise. At red light and wrote of the Leon, the doors opened fine, but the explosive charge in the airbag burnt my face. Bloody strong car. Oh, sorry, this is Seat Leon, right? You were T-boned by a Ford Transit. I got you now, I'm with you. But yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, I just think that some of the older cars were built, they'll continue cruising through stuff for years, but they'll fail all kinds of tests. But it doesn't mean that it's right. Like if Seat was still building my Leon and still failing NCAP rating all the time, I'd just go, don't buy the thing. And that's what Fiat is doing. So I find that very weird. Have a great Christmas. My sickness has been costly lately. It's unfortunate when they start to go wrong, Paul. Oh, they just want to burn the things. That's what happens. You know, they're great cars until something goes wrong. All cars, right? It's not particularly Opel Insignia. But once the clutch starts to go, then the flywheel, then you have this fluid thing, then you have clutch pedals and cables and things to change. It just starts getting messy. You often feel like you're being ripped off by garages and things because you have to go back so often. But often a garage, sometimes a garage wants to keep you won't pay it. So they want to keep money down. And so the very first thing to do is they change the clutch, but they don't change the cable, because that would cost you more in labor, when that's what they should do. So it's this pain in the hole of going round in circles the whole time. It's very hard to do. So, but while I'm on the subject, please click the like button. If you're first time here, click the subscribe button. In the comments below, there is links for my PayPal account and for Patreon account, which allows you to give a little tiny amount of money every month, like €2, €5, whatever it is, towards keeping this channel free and accessible and sponsor free. I've never ever stopped in the middle of, like all of the YouTube channels are gone now, they stop in the middle of and go, you know, the best thing you can do today is whiten your teeth with this crap, whatever it is, right? Or Google AdWords or something pops up in the center. I don't do that. Literally, this all comes from just Google ads that Google put on, YouTube put on. And from you guys, which is the most important part. And today, people have clicked the super chat to the tune of €60, which has been fantastic for the day. And Patreon and PayPal, those links are down below. So if you can keep the channel free, it's brilliant. It does cost a lot of time for me to make the videos. It really is a full-time job. It's something I do 7 days a week. But look, if you can't afford it, don't do it. I'm not expecting anyone to do it, but at least you can do is hit the subscribe button. You can also head over to my Instagram page if you want as well, and get me there. It's at Bob Flavin on Instagram as well. I do keep a very healthy Instagram account. Actually, you'll see more about the cars that I'm driving on Instagram than you will here on YouTube. It's very live. I take a picture of the day and picking up the car and all that sort of stuff. So it's all there if you want to follow it that way. Darren says, hi Bob, if you had to, sounds like Richard Herring. Do you ever listen to Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast? It's very good. If you had to have a hand made of ham or an armpit that dispenses sun cream, which one would you want? Second-hand BMW i3 next February, or Nissan Leaf Hyundai Ioniq. I would buy the i3, but only if I didn't have kids. The most frustrating thing about the i3 was you had to open the front door to open the back door. It's a pain in the hole. It really is. You get anywhere, everywhere you go, you have to open the front door to open the back door. It's just a pain in the ass. Other than that, I love the manufacturing process of the i3. Most of the dashboard is made of donkey jackets and kind of recycled plastic. The i system of manufacturing is done that way as well. So it's a really, really clever system of making. So if you could, I would buy the i3. You could hang out next year, depending on your mileage. You're going to get more miles per gallon or more miles out of your electricity next year when the new Leaf appears. And Rilla Histapa, correct bundle there, Sean. You must listen to it as well. But speaking of which, now that I'm talking about i3 stuff, I am giving away a jacket today, a Storm Tech jacket, which is this thing, which actually is branded BMW I, is written on it. There it is there. I can't remember how I got this jacket, but there you go, Storm Tech jacket. These are about, it's got a full fleece double collar thing. It's got a fleece inside. It's got an exterior shell to it. It's like a Nordic jacket. You know, you'd wear this thing. It's really heavy, really good winter jacket. I'm going to give that away today to one of the people who support this channel. If you support it on Patreon or PayPal or Super Chat or any way monetarily, you are entered immediately. You're going to be entered twice, at least twice. For every time you've given money, you get another entry. So you double up every single time you enter with money. You get more and more entries to this competition. I'm going to pick straight from subscribers only. If you're not a subscriber, unfortunately, you will not win a single jittery jot. So you've got to be a subscriber here as well. And of course, the long-term subscribers will get very favorably looked at along the way. But it will be completely picked at random. I'm going to just take all the subscribers and everybody else on Patreon, put you onto that website, that randomizer website thing, and get it to pick a number, and that will be the winner. But I'm going to reference that, the winner it picks, towards the subscriber list to make sure you're subscribers first. Now, there you go. So now, in answer to that, Darren, it was the BMW i3 I would buy right now. Hyundai Ioniq was very, very, very good. I really like that, and I haven't driven the Nissan Leaf. It looks nice though, I have to say, Nissan Leaf, but that could be a top spec Yorkie looking at as well, so it's very hard to pick that one out. All right, Bob is a username. That's very good. I forgot to wish you a very Merry Christmas, so there it is. Thanks very much. All right, Bob. Bob, when did you last drive in a Nürburgring and what vehicle? Bloody hell. I've been twice, I think twice or three times Nürburgring. One time as a rental car. God, don't ever mention that. But it was a rental car that I rented out in France and drove to the Nürburgring and just did a few laps. It came back in relatively the same shape it went out in, other than the tyres and the petrol tank was empty. That was, what was that car? I think that was a Seat Leon, but like it was a basic entry-level Leon. I brought a Mini Cooper to the Nürburgring. That was a friend of mine's car. It was a Mini Cooper S. So it was a fast little thing. It was a great little car, actually. I think I was 8 minutes or something. It was a fast lap, a really fast lap, 8 or 9 minutes. And the third time I went was something else entirely. It was, I forget. You know, it was a Porsche, but I forget which one. A Porsche 911 GT3 RS, or possibly it was a 911 Boxster or something like that. They were quick cars, good fun. Nürburgring is great fun, but good God Almighty, don't bring a car you want to come back in the same shape. Like, people just drive into there, you just crash. There's no runoffs or nothing. It's a really, really long, intense track. One lap is 10 minutes odd. It's a really hard course. And then, of course, and if you don't get a good shot at it, you're racing motorbikes and stuff in cars. It's wild, but it's good fun. If you can afford it, it's great fun. I hope the Nürburgring doesn't close. It's a really good place to go. Dermot Walsh. Hi Bob, which one? Skoda Yeti 4x4 or SsangYong Corando 4x4 or similar with a small footprint must be capable of towing 2 tons? Skoda Yeti. SsangYong Corando would be like having a social disease of some sort. I don't know what it is about SsangYong in this country. If you mention it to someone, they start to laugh at you straight away. And yet they make really good cars. I quite like the Corando. They do really, really good, honest to God cars. But they've no brand name, no brand awareness in this country. And they're a little bit too pricey as well for being that kind of way. And I know it's Harris on the Longmire Road that imports SsangYong into the country currently. And they're doing a good job with it. But I just go for the Skoda. You'll thank me in 4 or 5 years' time. You'll thank me, Dermot. Go for the Skoda. Or if you don't want to buy a Yeti would be really reasonable price at the moment. If you don't want to buy a Yeti at the moment, wait for the Skoda Karoq to drop, which is coming very soon, which is the replacement for the Yeti. That's on the way. Merry Christmas, Bob, says Frank Metcalf. Thanks, Frank. You're very good. Mazda CX-5 or Honda CR-V versus Tucson. I really like Tucson. Looks for an SUV, but reviews seem mixed. What would you go for? Mazda CX-5. Mazda CX-5, I would pick out that. CR-V is good, but complicated. It's very complicated. I've just found a lot of Honda stuff. Honda's very complicated in general. The Mazda CX-5 is a really good car. A little bit on the firm side because Mazda tend to err towards the sporty side of comfortable rather than the comfortable side of sporty. CX-5 is very good. Tucson. I like Tucson. I love the looks of the thing, really good. And I like the Hyundai generally because they have a 5-year unlimited mileage warranty. So I quite like that as well. The problem I have is it's not very unique on the road. There's a lot of them. And the CX-5 will be a good car. Now, that said, Top Gear, Clarkson, look up that one. He crashed one on Top Gear and it broke. He crashed a little bit and it really broke. Like it was really bad. I'm going to block you now, whatever your name is. So it's Find Your Love, Kita 18. What a spam bot. Where do these come from? And why do YouTube allow that to happen? Like, what's going on? YouTube demonetized my video with Katrina McKiernan yesterday because they said it wasn't suitable for most advertisers. Why? What's in it that's not suitable? The problem YouTube has constantly is that they continually fight against themselves. I understand, and for the sake of my kids, I understand that YouTube needs to be a very safe place for people to go to, that there should be, because kids are just left in front of iPads and laptops and things now to go and get themselves entertained. And I get it. I understand that, but you know what? It'd be wonderful if YouTube were to say, your video is not monetizable because. A little few words behind that going, because it's branded, because you said the word Kia, because you said the word something or Mondeo or whatever it is. If they just narrow it down for you, but right now they just demonetize a video and there's no questions, no answers, no nothing. It has to have 1,000 hits or be on for 7 days before they'll manually review the thing, right? And that just annoys everybody. No matter what you do, that just really bothers everybody because I put 48 hours into making that video. So I went to Mondello, I drove around Mondello with Katrina McKiernan in the car, reviewed it. edit it, have to correct the sound on the thing, have to fly a drone, do all that stuff, and then you put it up on YouTube, go, nah, not going to monetize that one. We can afford to lose billions per hour by not monetizing stuff. But you know what? Your little channel, well, tough, hard luck. So YouTube, would you please just give us a reason so we could go, okay, you're not monetizing that because the word Kia is in it, because Mondello's in it, because a car's in it, because something's happening, because she's wearing a different top. I analysed the whole thing and I couldn't figure out why. Now it's monetized again, and there's no explanation to why monetization stopped in the middle of it. And these Sunday services tend to be not monetized after, once I've uploaded it and done, it goes yellow immediately, and then it's in review, and it stays in review forever. Pain in the hole. Anyway, it's good to have us here though. Robert Madden, you are such a lovely guy. Just got a message from PayPal. He just dropped some money into PayPal for me. You're so good. It's like a tip jar thing. You're very good. It's really great to have you guys support the channel in the way that you are. You are the guys that keeps this channel here. It's not YouTube, believe me, it is not YouTube. YouTube monetization system isn't what it should be, anywhere near what it should be. The majority of my videos don't make any money whatsoever because of copyright, because of branding, because of complaints from somebody, because competitors come along and they click the report button and it gets demonetized. There's all sorts of reasons. It's only the last ones, in the last 12 or 13 months that I've put up, that have been very carefully orchestrated to make sure that they do get monetized, properly monetized. But then there's not massive hits in cars anymore. It's just the way things are. You have to be kind of part of, you know, you have to do what I see CarZone doing at the moment, which is paying to be an ad. So they make a video and they put it up on YouTube, and then they pay for that video to be an ad. And so it can come up sometimes in front of one of my videos, which is, that's okay if that's the way they want it to be. That's all right by me, but because that means they're paying for this channel. But that seems to be the only way to get views these days, is to pay for the views, and I'm not willing to go down that route. So that's just the way it is. It's really brilliant to have you all here. So make sure you hit on PayPal. Let's go through some of the prizes again, just in case anyone who's joined us late has not seen the prizes. This is the main prize. This one right here. This is the BMW. It's a hand-drawn BMW by the designer of the BMW 6 Series. I was on the top of a hotel spire in, I forget what the town was. That's terrible. Pat Kelly. My God, you're brilliant, Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly has just given me a little bit of money towards the PayPal again. You're very good, Pat. Thank you very, very much for submitting the money. You're really, really good. This all, honest to God, all of this goes straight into a kit and equipment. Is what I'm talking on right now, the mic that I'm using, the charging device I'm using to make sure everything stays charged, that is all comes straight from you guys. So the reason that this allows me, this whole Sunday service thing even exists, is because you guys support it in the unique way that it is funding. It's amazing how television is dying a death slowly in the background and trying to stay in one piece and keep itself moving, and then you guys come along and just monetize what you like, and that makes such a big difference. But anyway, here's the main prize. I'll go back over this again. It's the BMW 6 Series, hand drawn by the designer in a notebook. Literally just caught him in a hotel. He was sitting there having lunch. And I strolled up to the guy and went, "You designed that car? Yeah. Would you sketch it for me?" And he did. And he sketched out the whole thing here with a ballpoint pen in a notebook. So I'm giving this one away. This has never made it onto the wall. It's perfectly clean. This is the real deal one. I've never even taken a page out. I will skill cut that out here across the top. I'll make sure it's cut out very carefully. And I'll put it into a padded envelope and send it to you. I don't, please, if someone's going to take this, put it up on the wall or something. Don't stick it up on eBay. That's not for sale. That's a unique thing. It's like taking a piece of art, uniquely drawn, and then trying to sell it. Don't stick it up on eBay. Just keep it. Your kids will love you for it. I have one on the wall from the Golf 7, which is up there on the wall. The original exterior designer of the Golf 7 sat down in Sardinia, I think we're in, and he drew the sketch for me. It's been on my wall ever since, and it's a talking point. Every time someone goes into the house, they look up and go, "Wow, look at the thing up on the wall." I'm also giving away loads of other things. This is going away as well. This is a jump starter for the car head among you. This is the latest device to allow your car to be jump started at every possible... No, forget that. It's by Noco Ultra Safe Systems. It can start a 6-litre V8 engined, 3-litre diesel engine, a 6-litre petrol engine. Basically, it's got a jump starter in it. It can charge a phone. It's actually in the picture here. It's got a USB cable sticking out of it. It's got a USB port in it. It's got a torch in it. It can do all sorts of things, but it can generally just jumpstart a car. And it's something you put in the boot of your car and you forget about. They're really good. You can get them off a website. The website is Norco Ultra Safe. If you want to look it up for yourself. It's a 12-volt yoke, just charged from the normal plugs. That's really good. I'll give one away. I think they're a couple of $100, them yokes. Other stuff I'm giving away, Firestone headphones. These are Bluetooth headphones. This is the second set of these I'm actually giving away as well. You stick these on your head, you Bluetooth onto your phone. Not very good for running. So if you're a runner, and I know you guys, some of you guys messaged me after Katrina McKiernan saying how much do I run a week. I do about 80 kilometers, 70 kilometers a week at times. Depends on the week. But these aren't very good for running because they cup over your entire ear and they become a little bit sore after a while. But they're nice headphones for general music reasons, or if you Bluetooth them onto a laptop. Sorry, I'm reaching out for something now. This is another cool little gift as well. It'd be a great little stocking filler thing. BMW i8 concept. It's a computer mouse. This all lights up blue and the headlights come on blue and all sorts of things. This is made by Landmice, Landmice, but it's actually an official product from BMW. You can buy it on the BMW website. I don't know how much it is, couldn't tell you. I've forgotten to check what that is. I also have some t-shirts, jackets, Rally School Ireland jackets. I have a, where's that t-shirt gone? A Munster jersey. I have a jersey to give away as well, somewhere here. I have a cup with Mustang on it. All that. Any of you guys who have, who are subscribers here, is how you enter. Just be a subscriber, number one, because I'm just going to take my subscriber list and that is going to be listed out randomly. I'm going to pick a random name from that using a randomizer system. The people who give money towards PayPal, which bobflav@thenextgear.com on PayPal, through Patreon, whatever you call that thing, you can do it there as well, or Super Chat here. You guys get 2 entries to every, to win every possible prizes here. So each one of you could win 2 prizes. So you have 2 entries for every one of them. So if you're a subscriber, number 1, and number 2, you've given money on PayPal or any of the means of giving money, there is links to everything down below, apart from the Super Chat. Super Chat is the little dollar symbol in the corner. You can give money that way, or you can just do it through PayPal or Patreon, whichever one you want. There, that's just to get you second subscribers, but be a subscriber, number 1. Subscribe. Thank you very much, Robert Madden. You're very good. Pat Kelly. Oh man, what is it with this find your love thing? Will you feck off somewhere else and do something else and get rid of your headaches on your own? Annie McAfee. You know, just as soon as you can give away the jump starter, you'll accidentally leave the lights on in the car. So that's exactly what will happen, 100%. I haven't used the yoke since they sent it out to me. And it was sent out for some sort of review or other. They didn't really tell me why they sent it. It just appeared. So I opened it and I was looking at it going, what am I supposed to do with this? I have brand new cars. I can't jump start a brand new car. And no one ever knocked on the door looking for jump leads. And then when they did, it wasn't working anyway. I saw Jeremy Clarkson in London a few weeks back. He was parking his vehicle, a metallic grey brand new Range Rover, not speck or dusted dirt, and probably a gift. Are you offered any free vehicles? Me? No. Free vehicles? Who's going to give me a free vehicle? No. You have to be fairly famous now to get your free vehicle stuff. I've met Jeremy a good few times over the years at various little kind of soiree yokes that you end up at in the motoring fraternity things. It's been a few years since I met him last. James May I met here when he was here in Dublin. I met Richard Hammond when he was here in Dublin as well. They were doing a Top Gear show here a few years back. Met the 2 of them at that. Did camera work for a couple of guys at that as well. So I've met them all. Look, they're just ordinary Joe Soaps as far as I can see. They just seem like ordinary guys who happen to get fairly lucky on the right format. Clarkson was always driven. Clarkson was one of the very first UK motoring journalists in the whole history of UK motoring journalism to just offer his services to every possible local paper at £50 a pop. And so he'd write a review for any local paper across the country when he started out first about cars, as long as they paid him 50 quid. And he was the first one to do that. At the going rate at the time, or the story goes, the going rate at the time was £400. You paid a motoring journalist to review cars. And Clarkson came along and messed that up for everybody. And then went after BBC and started going after some of the, the Sunday Times and Telegraphs and things. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Andy, any more thoughts towards coach and or lorry lessons thing? I'm currently in negotiation with a couple of different outlets to get truck driving lessons and to get bus driving lessons. The bus driving one I'm really interested in. I have to go to work. I'll see you soon. Merry Christmas. Go on, don't forget this will be uploaded. Thank you very much, DSG, for watching. This will be uploaded after this ends. You'll be able to watch the rest of it back, as a lot of people do in a podcast version as well, which is really good. It's really cool. I get a lot of comments afterwards. I get text messages and emails and things going, you know, you were factually incorrect when you said that. It's so funny. It's good. They're going, I don't even remember saying that. I talked for like 2 hours in these things. I couldn't tell you what I said an hour ago, let alone what I'm talking about now. But I do try and treat this as kind of a radio show, which is the other part of that as well. So I always keep on going and try and read out the questions, because I understand a lot of you guys can't read the questions after it's uploaded later. But back to the bus lessons. My idea, I have a few ideas for new video formats in 2018. So one thing I've been offered is a job, which is a different story. It's a different story entirely, to work for a particular company in a facet that isn't to do with cars. That's consideration. Obviously, you know, when you're offered a job and you're self-employed and you're thinking, oh, should I take the job or not? You still always wonder whether you should or not, you know, because it's very hard to turn stuff down, even though you've got plans to do things, because this is such an uncertain thing. The variance in what Google pay from month to month can go up and down, up and down, up and down. And then like things like Super Chat, they're hugely appreciated, but you can't just sit here every single time and do you know, forever, constantly ask for more and more and more money and things. It just doesn't make any sense for people to do it, you know. Alan Fortune, you're so kind. Another PayPal tip jar there as having a PayPal. You're so good. You're really good, guys. It's really good to have you here. Don't forget, the links are in below if you want to hit the PayPal or you want to hit the Patreon account. Or you can do the super chat on this channel as well, whichever one you want. You're listening. It gives you the best radio, next year radio voice. I do voiceovers as well. I do. I've done voiceovers for Midlands, for Midlands 103. I've done them for Today FM. I've done them for Central Casting and Systems as well. I don't even know where those ended up. You just get a script to read and you read it into the mic and stuff. So you generally do. Your voice does change depending on what people want from the voice. Depends whether they want to have that safe, secure voice. You are listening to thenextgear.com on Midlands 103, or you know, or you want to have more of a breathy thing or more of an urgent thing. I actually did a pirate last year as well. Ahar, come down to my place and buy jewelry or something. It was the most talked about ad for months because I played a pirate for a jewelry shop. I don't remember what the jewelry shop name was though. New T-Rock. Looks good. Great name, isn't it? T-Rock. Never had such a requested car. I think it's the second week of January or so. It's being launched here in Ireland, and I will have a video of it. It looks exciting, especially in the yellow. You know, the yellow that they do it in, a really kind of garish colour. I think it looks very exciting then. I'm not so sure of its drivability. If it's anything like Tiguan, because Volkswagen has a history of those kind of bigger cars. So, you know, Volkswagen Tiguan, you've got the Skoda Karoq, you've got, you know, they've got a plant, a system that they understand how 4x4s work. So I imagine T-Rock is going to be one of those kind of cars where they've really put in a bit of effort into its drivability, and it needs to succeed because Volkswagen are on the back foot when it comes to Dieselgate and stuff. They still have that stink in the background. So they need to make a car that they can put it on and go, this is us doing our cleanest best. So it'd be really good if T-Rock was good to drive. I don't doubt it will be. I'd say it's going to be really good, all right. Drive those likes, getting close to triple figures now. Oh yeah, look at that, 91 likes. Come on, click the like button. That's the most important part, because that tells YouTube that this is actually happening. That's the worst part of YouTube. There's an algorithm in the background that's just a pain in the hole, and it changes from day to day. And even when I was in YouTube Ireland and talking to people who make YouTube happen, and even they don't know what their algorithm is doing most of the time. So click on the like button is always good, right? General items, whoever General Items is, you're very good. You just gave me a little bit of money towards a tip jar in PayPal. You're so kind, and unfortunately your username is General Items. So if there's a General Items among you right here in this live stream, you're very good. But yes, click the like button, because that tells the algorithm what's going on and makes it pay attention to this video and sends more people here to watch it, which is very good. We're 93 minutes in. You're so good to be sticking here. Some of you stick here from the very beginning to the very end. Some of you come back and watch it later and then send me more messages. Bob, think of doing motorbike reviews. I don't have a motorbike license. That would be a problem now, straight off, Sean. Although I could, and I was talking to a man who runs Harley Davidson in Ireland. You know, there's one in Dublin, Harley Davidson Dublin. He also does other bikes up there as well. I love motorbikes. I love looking at them and listening to them, and they're really cool things. I even watch some YouTube channels. There's a guy in England does really good. He rides a Nuda. I don't know what a Nuda is, but he keeps saying a Nuda thing. It sounds great though. And I talked to the guys in Harley Davidson. I actually talked to Tony Toner from the Institute of Advanced Motoring something or other in Dublin. Royal Jordanian, that's him. Anyway, he's very good. So we talked about me getting possibly lessons on how to drive a motorbike. Royal Jordanian, that's the guy. Yeah, he's very good. I've never seen his face. Obviously, never shown his face to subscribers. He's really good. I've been subscribed to him, I think, since he had like 5,000 subscribers or 4,000 subscribers, something really early, because I love the sound of that motorbike. And we talked a couple of times as well through the old messaging system, but I don't know where he is now. We haven't talked in ages. But hopefully, I'm going to do something like that. I've other plans as well. There's another series that I'm going to start filming in January, which would be Road Trip. It's called Road Trip. So I'm going to choose a car, choose a road, drive to a location, and do that drone shot through the middle of it, and all that beautiful sort of stuff, and talk about the car and the drive itself. That's coming. There'll be more videos with Sinead McCann coming in January for sure. We're already talking about 4 or 5 different videos we can film. We have a meeting, I think, tomorrow to talk about that. It's just hard for us to get together to do the thing, research and figuring it out. And she does films for her own channel. I do films for my own channel as well. So there's lots of stuff to go doing that as well. Loads of plans to do more videos next year. I'm hoping to do a couple of international trips. I want to drive across the longest road in the world. That's going to be more difficult to achieve, but we'll see if we can do that. I might start a Kickstarter or something to do with that, or whatever you call them, things where you try and get a large amount of money to do something a little bit more different. General Items is me. Whoops. Thank you very much, Corando. Corando is you're very good. General Items is, he put some money into my PayPal, which is really good of you. Thank you very, very much. Adrian says, Bob, on the lookout for a small second-hand car, 2 kids under 4, Skoda Fabia or VW Polo, and your suggestions. Second car. So Skoda Fabia would be a really good one because the seat is very big. The Polo, the outgoing one, isn't as good as the incoming one. The incoming one is actually quite big. It's as big as a Volkswagen Golf inside. So if you can step up to the new Polo, I would. The Polo's launched here in Ireland on the 2nd week of January, but it's probably in the dealerships already for people to have a look at, I'd say, because I was at the international launch. There is a video of that on my channel. We did that in Berlin or Munich or somewhere in Germany. Maybe it was Berlin. I think that was Berlin or Frankfurt. I forget. Do so much traveling, you kind of go, I forget what city that was. It was somewhere with bridges. Anyway, thoughts on electric mopeds, skateboards as a future transport option for cities? I am all in for electric skateboards. Like boosted boards are too expensive, but boosted board and they're like, we have to change the laws here in Ireland. We have a law here in Ireland that allows the guards to seize electric scooters. And so in this country, a scooter can only be assisted by an engine. So you have to do most of the work and the machine can assist you to go. So an electric bicycle works fine. I've ridden some of the Peugeot stuff, and there's a few other electric bikes. Skoda does an electric bike as well. Did the Skoda electric bikes in Sicily recently. Cycled one for miles. It was brilliant. You have to pedal and it assists you. They're legal here in Ireland. Illegal ones are ones where you turn a throttle and it goes. That's a bike, a motorbike. And the same applies for electric skateboards. So if you're figuring on buying a boosted board, and I know a few friends of mine have done that, if you're figuring on buying an electric boosted board, it can be seized from you in Ireland. So don't, because that's not assisted. You're just pressing a throttle and going. That'll be seized from you. But I'd be 100% behind the move towards zero emissions systems in all cities in the world. But I'd be very happy if it happened just in Dublin. Doing a video of the IBT process would be greatly help the younger learner drivers, I feel. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm after, is the kind of how hard is it for someone to start out today on to get a motorbike license, to get a car license, to get a bus license, truck license. These are all things I want to do. I need money for that. That's the problem. I don't want to keep asking you guys for money to get things done, but like that's That's production money stuff to get that kind of thing done, because even just to film the process of getting a bus license requires permission slips, requires closing of roads, all sorts of things have to be done. So there's a load of stuff that needs to be done before that can happen. But the drive videos, they can be done right now. Only the weather's crap. I don't want to show Ireland in a nice light. So we're going to, that'll be done as well. But right now it'd be kind of cool to show learner drivers how to get a motorbike license. Looks for his service tunnel video. If you haven't seen it before and partly heard it. Service tunnel. What want to do? I forget what that one is. Hi Bob, Skoda Kodiaq or VW Tiguan Allspace. Haven't driven a Tiguan Allspace yet. Will be doing that in the next 3 weeks. Skoda Kodiaq is a beautiful car to drive. If the Tiguan Allspace goes along the same route as the Kodiaq, I would still probably pick the Skoda Kodiaq. The only problem is with the Kodiaq at the moment is it's impossible to get supply. There's not enough of the things being made, so there's a big issue there when it comes to supply of the actual car, and they can't get them. Most users I'm hearing are talking about May, June, July before they get any sort of delivery on them. So Tiguan Allspace hasn't got the same sort of draw on it just yet. So Tiguan Allspace if you're in a hurry, and the Kodiaq if you're willing to wait. Leasing. I think you skipped my question. Oh, I'm terrible, sorry. Did I? I'll try again. Audi A4 1.4 petrol is always dirt cheap. Seen it under 150 a month, including VAT, 9 months down. Nothing comes close. Any idea why? Well, Audi and petrol would be the big problem there. That's why nobody wants to buy an A4 in petrol. Everybody wants to buy an A4 in diesel. And so it's not a popular choice. That's why it's a bit cheaper, because it's less popular. But when it comes to leasing, don't forget leasing comes with its own effort. There's a lot of stuff that goes around leasing that can be a bit of a problem as well. Not everybody can get a good lease option on things. If your mileage is right and you're willing to obey by those rules that leasing comes with, leasing is the best option for most businesses. So I didn't skip your question this time. 150 quid a month. But the only reason, literally the only reason that happens is because it's petrol. Martin Sherry, you are incredibly generous. You just dropped some money through PayPal. You're really, really, really generous. That's a lot of money. Thank you very much. You're very, very kind. Martin Sherry, big shout out to that man. Sean Duff, I missed the first half of that question, Sean Duff. Doing a video IBT process. Oh, yeah, sorry, IBT process, right? Okay. And your first hand tech is very interesting here. I'm hoping to do it. I'm hoping to do all sorts of things at the moment. There's a lot of little balls in the air. I have to settle a few ones along the way, and one of them will be whether I go after a job or not. So, you know, it'd be lovely to have a full-time income and to be able to do these videos on the side and keep the whole lot going at once. That could be a bit of an effort, but totally possible. I've done it before. But it just depends on whether I want to go completely. I am completely full-time YouTube, by the way. I don't just do anything else. I don't have another job. Just joining in now. Where were you, Mike? You're missing all the fun, man. You missed 102 minutes of this so far. Sorry, this has already been asked. Which manufacturers might we lose over the next 10 years because they just choose the wrong fuel type route? We won't. They're very quick to change. And most technology that's out there right now for running engines, like electric engines, whatever, is not manufactured by car companies at all. Hyundai are manufacturing batteries, for instance. They bought up a lot of nickel cadmium places and start manufacturing batteries. Tesla manufacture batteries. But for the likes of Volkswagen, don't manufacture batteries. They buy them in. So for a car company to make a car these days, they make it like Hyundai made the Ioniq. So the Ioniq is available in petrol, hybrid or electric. You can have it in all three, whichever one suits you best. That's the way I think most car companies will go. They will start to create these kind of, like the way Volkswagen did with the MQB chassis. They made these kind of, the system whereby they could just make one chassis and make it longer, shorter, bigger, wider, whatever, but it's the same chassis throughout. Hyundai have taken that stage further, made one car with 3 different drivetrains, which is an interesting way of looking at it as well. So I think most car companies go that way. I don't think we're going to lose any car companies. There's not many of them left that are actually out there independent these days. Mazda being one, Toyota being another, I suppose, but they own other car companies around them. So we are losing car companies who make bespoke cars. So cars that just come along, they make them in the sheds in the UK, and we make them in, you know, in sheds in America, whatever. We're losing those guys. But I don't think the bigger guys will get hit too hard unless we have something again like Dieselgate. Because Dieselgate just really affected Volkswagen worldwide, but it didn't really affect anyone else. whereas it should have affected all of them in one foul swoop. But even Nissan admitted the other day that the changeover to petrol is much faster than they expected to happen. They thought there'd be a gradual step down. And yet, 14, 15 months ago, I warned every car company in the country that the step from diesel to petrol to hybrid to electric will be very, very quick. And it would happen in like a 12-month period. Everybody scoffed at that. And 12 months later, it's all happening. So yeah, it is definitely happening along the way, and it's happening very, very fast. God, I'm joining in the end of other people's conversations there. No, just trying to, now that was that one. Strike the like, Mike. Yeah, hit the like button. Somebody else click the like button, will you? It's 99 likes. Go on. Click the like button so we get to the 100, for God's sake. Come and drive the in Romania. Yeah, I did actually drive that years ago. Hey, there's 100 likes. Deadly. Merry Christmas. Everybody's having fun. We're at 100 likes. That's fab. Love it. I drove the in Romania years ago. It's a fabulous place, but only on a day where the fog hasn't fallen down on top of it. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful drive. You can drive it quite slowly, and it can be very, very busy at times, depending on when you go. If you go in the wintertime, you'll die sliding offside of it, but it'll still be fun. You'll have fun going offside. Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Transflagarian or something you call it. I'm not too sure how you actually pronounce it. Service tunnel video was, I referenced Royal Jordanian. Yes, service tunnel video where he goes down the tunnel and he opens up the taps on that thing and it just roars along. Great noise. Don't you find it weird that most Irish road signs look like the US ones and not the rest of Europe? No, not really. All the road signs here look like European standard ones. There is a European standard road sign, which is why we can all read road signs in every single country. We can't always read the words, but we can read the road signs. And generally, even down to the Middle East and Africa, you'll find those same sort of road signs on a road as well. Over in Asia, they're pretty similar. New Zealand's the same. America's got its own kind of road sign system, and some laws are a little bit different. In New Zealand, if you're turning right, and they're driving the same side of the road as us, which is the same side as the UK. So if you turn right across the lane, everyone else has to stop to let you cross. That's just a rule. And in the US, you can turn into the flow of traffic on a red light, which is very good. If you haven't tried that in the US, you should, because it's bleeding brilliant. 103 likes. This is getting good now. Don't forget you can support this channel on PayPal and Patreon, which are both linked in the comments just under this video. But it's paypal.com paypal.com, and find Bob Flav at thenextgear.com is there. In Patreon, you can just look at Bob Flavin. You'll find me there on Patreon. And so I don't know what you do. You click support or something on that channel. And for Super Chat, which is right here on YouTube, you can just click the little dollar symbol that's beside the chat over there, and that allows you to do Super Chat. So the US copied us on something. Yeah, I got that. Ronaldo, have you heard anything about the Kona electric being released in October next year? Everything will go electric. That's 100%. I guarantee the majority of cars you're driving and that are petrol and diesel at the moment will be electric next year or the year after. Kona would be a good one to go for because Ioniq is a 5-door hatch kind of a car, you know, so low down. The BSUV market needs a few electric cars in it and will have them, I guarantee it. So yes, it probably will. Kona will probably be electric next year. 100 likes, 106 likes now. We're on 101 there. Yep, we're badly need the NRA to produce. That's the National Roads Authority in Ireland, not the National Rifle Association in America, who is full of head cases with guns. The National Roads Authority to produce a TV advertising to improve the road driving and such staying passing lanes for miles and miles. They were very effective in seatbelts and ads in the 80s. Unfortunately, the National Roads Authority don't do it. The RSA do the ads in this country. They generally buy them in from other countries, number one. Number two, they try to do the shock tactics, which blame. Did you ever see ads on the television where they go, slow down, young boys. You young boys are so dangerous. Brought to you by the Road Safety Authority in association with AXA Insurance, who are going to charge an absolute fortune for every young person that ever wants to drive a car. Unfortunately, the young drivers out there get absolutely blamed for being the ones that are trouble, and they're the ones that have the least amount of accidents. Sorry, it's people my age that cause most of the problems because we're very confident. years and years and years of driving, and we never had a crash, and then bang, all of a sudden we killed 6 kids in the back of a car. It's older generation people. We need proper driver education, and unfortunately the Road Safety Authority think it's okay to go out and spend a lot of money on television advertising, and instead of just inviting journalists to a Road Safety Authority day and let's talk about road safety, let's talk about it in that respect, let us be educated by them. Have open conferences, bring in people from overseas to talk about safety and what we can do to help it here, what has succeeded in other countries. There's all sorts of things that can be done, and it's very easy to bring it here to this country and bring the journalists together, educate the journalists, and then we, as journalists, go out and educate our audience, our people we write for, we make videos for, whatever. We can educate others. That's how we need to actually do it, and not more TV ads. Gav1, hi Bob, CHR 1.2 turbo is good enough for a 20-mile motorway journey each way. I think of going from one to the new year and ditching my 2010 Avenzas. Good luck on ditching a 2010 Avenzas. That must have been really hard work. CHR 1.2 turbo is a really good car, but I would advise you to go for the hybrid one, which will protect you in the future. I have a feeling you might be from the UK because you're talking in miles, and you're talking about that kind of that mile motorway journey. Anyway, wherever you're from, Gav, the one I would push you towards is the hybrid one. It's very efficient. Even on the motorway, it's really efficient. It's an automatic as well, so it doesn't really bother you all the time, and you're protecting yourself from any sort of increases in duty on petrol or in congestion charge or any sort of stuff in the future as well. The 1.2 petrol is fine, but you won't get the same fuel economy from it. Definitely get out of that Avenzas and get into the CHR. It's like night and day. Happy Christmas, Bob. I think the lights in the hat. Thanks, Brian. The hat's very important, keeping the head warm now as well. And of course, the worst part is right now I have hat hair. I'll have to just leave it on now, which is terrible. Bob, you're a good singer too. Thanks very much. You're very good. I do try. We made it over 106 likes. Now we're doing well. Dublin registered cars can turn on red lights too. I know. Yes, but not quite legally. It's not quite the same principle, but they do it. Yes. My God. Will somebody find whoever it is that is Find Your Love and just give them a kick in a hole? For God's sake, grow up, you idiot. Would you support a driving test retest every 10 years for all? Yes, I would. I would very much like to see that come in. Mainly because I can sit here piously and say I would probably pass it every 10 years. But it would drive people, number one, driving schools would be inundated with people asking questions and more money, which would be very good. But number two, any new stuff that has come along, like roundabouts, like traffic lights, like pedestrian crosses, like all these things, you have to update your skills. Otherwise, you're never going to find it. So you have to get that skill to pass the test. And so most people would have to take the test every 10 years. So yeah, every time you replace your license, you'd have to take the test again from scratch. Shell, the gas company, made a very good ad for drink and drive in Greece. I don't know if it's the other country as well. I haven't seen it. Shell don't tend to make a lot of ads here for anything. It's Kodiak or Koleos. Kodiak by miles. Koleos is really nice, actually. Very luxurious. But Kodiak, I don't know what it is. I'm a kind of a fanboy when it comes to Skoda, so you can't really trust me on that one, in fairness. But I would definitely steer you towards the Kodiak. I think the resale value is going to be better. I think the equipment level is going to be slightly higher as well for the standard equipment you get as well. So I get that sort of thing. Hi Bob, just back and giving my 15-year-old daughter a first driving lesson on private grounds. Am I too early? What age were you when you learned to drive? I was 8 days when I learned to drive. My father, who was a sergeant major in the army but retired into being a security guard, a full-time security guard for Tegral in Athy. He used to bring me to work on a Sunday, and there was a Mark I Ford Escort van that was there, and that was the kind of staff car to drive around in the whole place. And I started to drive when I was 8. I started to drive, and what we did was we had a manual choke. So it was Mark I, original Mark I car. You have to pull the manual choke all the way out, push in the clutch, start the engine. If you put it in first gear and let the clutch out with the choke on, the car would drag itself forward. And so I didn't actually have to reach the pedals to drive. It was able to drive itself. Stopping was a whole different ball game, but I was only 8 when I learned to drive. I kept it up probably till I was maybe 10 or 11 even, right the way through. And My father died in 1985. I was 13 years old at the time. So I stopped driving then, obviously, when I was in 1984, 83. And then started driving again when I was 17. I got my first license to drive a car and had zero driving lessons. None. Just took the test. Done. It was just that cocky. Everybody report Find Your Love. Yes, please. If you see that Find Your Love thing come up on the screen again, just click report on that, will you please? Because that's just like spam. And I keep blocking them. They keep coming back on with a different account. I don't know what the hell that's about. The campaign's name is It Takes a Moment to Lose Everything. I think I've seen that somewhere on YouTube. I never saw it on our television here, though. Jack says, hi Bob, happy Christmas for you and your family. What do you think about the speed bumps in Portlaoise? I don't mind the estates, but on the main roads, yeah, they are a bit. Portlaoise is a little bit speed bumpy happy, particularly one in the middle of town. I have an article coming out tomorrow in Laois Today, which is laoistoday.com. If you ever want to check it out, I write motor reviews and put my videos there as well. But I have an article coming out tomorrow talking about the pedestrian crossings and the speed bumps in Portlaoise. A massive issue. Pedestrian crossings. They replaced some of them recently. The speed bumps are now too tall, and as usual in Ireland, there is no legislation over the height of a speed bump. Did you know that? None. Whether it's round, flat-edged, flat-topped, no legislation whatsoever. Just like a speed bump will be built here. That's it. It could be 4 foot tall, it could be a foot tall. It doesn't really matter. They just make them anyway. And in Portlaoise, they've replaced some of them and have taken away the zebra crosses off them for some reason. I don't know why they've done that, and someone is definitely going to be killed in this town from that system. So they've got to figure out how to do it. But that is in Portlaoise, and you'll find that article will be out tomorrow in Laois Today, laoistoday.com. And that's Jack. Thanks, Jack. Slico, do you speak Irish fluently? No. I don't speak any Irish really at all. I mean, apart from the like Pug Mahone or any of that sort of stuff from years ago, which means kiss my arse in Irish. And top of the morning to you. But no, I don't speak any Irish. I don't really speak many languages. I kind of speak a little tiny bit of everything. So I can ask for a cup of coffee in all kinds of languages, but I don't really speak any other language fluently other than English. And I barely speak that, especially on a Saturday night. The Koleos isn't imported here. Oh, this is in Greece, sorry. Koleos isn't imported here because it is here. Because no one will buy, no market interest. And secondly, Koleos sounds similar to Koleos, which means arse. Really? That's cool. Because the Hyundai, what's it called? Kona. A Hyundai Kona in Portugal is a vagina. But it's spelled with a C, not a K. Hi Bob, what do you think of the new VW Passat? I like the new VW Passat quite a lot. Passat's a lovely car. I have no problem at all recommending Passat. It's cutting edge design, but you do have to pay for that kind of middle spec one to get good stuff. Sometimes, I just warn you now, some of the comments are just vanishing in front of me, which I do notice very weird. They're not that they're retracted by anybody, they just vanish. And he says, speed bumps get justified by all sorts of government authorities, but they never like to respond to the impact they have on emergency vehicles, can particularly problematic for ambulances. Even, yes, ambulances, fire brigades, they all have big problems with speed bumps. But even they used to be a big thing that they destroy your suspension in a car, and they still do. They destroy your suspension. But cars now have so much power and torque and turbos and everything else, they barely slow you down. You drive over them. In a Range Rover Velar, you can just cruise over them and you didn't even feel they were there. Sean is pointing out that Pajero means whore in Spanish or something like that. That's not surprising. Do you remember when Volkswagen brought out a car and it was some tribe in Africa and the tribe ended up being like cannibals or something? It's weird. Has the NCAP rating system become meaningless now that 5 stars is kind of expected and 4 out of 5 kind of sniffed at? There is a good answer to that question, Mike, and the big answer is the NCAP is absolutely necessary for safety purposes. The problem is the car companies are aware what the tests are and can build a car to pass. And so I'm not going to mention any car names, but I know that a certain car company builds the car with the left-hand side of the car slightly stronger than the right-hand side of the car because they know that the NCAP is going to crash the right-hand side of the car or the left-hand side of the car. They're going to do that frontal, not a half frontal impact where they go bang like that. And so they build the car to be a little bit stronger on that side. And then they take that exact car and they sell it over here where we sit on the weaker side as drivers. Just thought I'd point that one out. So when you, as a testing company, when you say here is a pilot test we're going to put on your cars. They go, what's the first thing we can do to make sure we pass that test? And so that's what happens. That's the same as a test in school. If you were told, this is what we're going to test you on, this, and this, that's all you'd study. That's it. That's it. That's all you do, so you can regurgitate those answers for that test, because you know what the answers are. And so when you have an NCAP rating on your car and you know how to get 5 stars, you just build a car to pass the 5 stars. Simple as that. But that doesn't mean we need to get rid of the NCAP, because the NCAP does test for a certain amount of tests, and it is an independent thing, and they do buy the cars. And you know, so there's a lot goes on. That's why the bigger cars, like what NCAP has a Ferrari Maranello got, or a Lamborghini Murcielago? None, because they don't test them. Is VW considered a premium badge? In Ireland, yes, there is a premium for VW over other brands of cars. Yeah, so it would be considered it's not Audi premium, but it is premium among the affordable segment. Sean Nebo says Mercedes. It's not Mercedes, but they could probably do it as well. But I only have confirmation over one car company. I thought the European NCAP standards were updated to allow for advancements in new few years. They are updated. They're updated all the time. But they tell car companies, they go, we're updating because you've invented this. And so car companies add that. Okay, so I have another situation as well where a car company got 5 stars on their car, then brought that car to Ireland, but removed one of the reasons why it got 5 stars. So it should have been sold here as a 4-star car, but was being advertised as a 5-star car. So that can happen too. Siri means but in Japanese. Does it? I did not know that. Can I have a free car? I'm sure you can. Go to your local dealership, tell them that you want to get a free car because you're just a cool dude, and see what he says. An interesting headline from 2 days ago: Fiat Punto flunks crash test, becomes Eurocamp. Yeah, well, that's true. It's a 0-star car, but it's 10 years old, so that would explain it as well. Yes, Conan, just pick up anyone on the street. Yeah, you could. You could just walk in, go to your neighbour. If you walk to your neighbour's door, ring the bell and just go, give us the keys to your car. And he gives them to you, and you go, thanks, and get in the car and drive off. There's a free car for you. No problem. Okay, it's 120 minutes for this Christmas special. This is the last little bit I'm going to do right now, so I'm not going to keep you forever. I know loads of you have been around. You've been absolutely hugely generous today supporting the channel in all of your efforts and your stuff when it comes to PayPal, Patreon, which are both linked down below as well, and the Super Chats, which have been hugely important to keep the channel free. It's been a fabulous Sunday service. It's been really active. I haven't stopped for the entire 121 minutes. I'm giving away a pile of things. There is a Mustang 50 Years Cup, which will go out to one of you guys out there as well. I have a BMW Storm Tech jackets, which is here as well. I have Firestone headphones, which is here as well. I have computer mouse, which is in the shape of BMW i8. I have t-shirts, Munster Rugby t-shirts. I have Jump Starter. Where's the Jump Starter thing? There's a Jump Starter thing. I have that as well. But the most important prize, which is this one, is an absolutely unique drawing. This is one of a kind drawing of a BMW 6 Series, drawing by the designer of the BMW 6 Series. So this is actually drawn by Calvin, who designed the exterior design of the BMW 6 Series. So that is a pen drawing that I nailed him in a hotel. We were sitting having lunch, and I pulled out a notebook and went, here, draw your car. And he did. And here it is. So you can have this as well. You will have all the chances. First of all, just be a subscriber on this channel. That is the #1 way of getting one entry into the competition if you're just a subscriber. If you're a regular commenter, it'll be looked at more favorably as well. But the most important part, to get a second chance to win any of these gifts, and more, I have more than that, that's only some of them. To get a second chance to win any of these gifts, if you are a Patreon supporter, or you are a PayPal supporter, or you've given a Super Chat, that will get you extra entries along the way. If you've been a Patreon supporter for a number of months, you will have a third way of entering. So the more longer you've been supporting the channel, the more chance you have of winning. But it's been an absolutely fantastic Sunday service. This is the last one until January. There won't be one next week, because that is, I think, Christmas Eve. Unless I find myself with nothing to do, then I might just flick on the camera and give a little Sunday service on next Sunday as well. But until the next time, I hope to have you all here. Please have the most peaceful Christmas you can possibly have. Keep drinks off the road for anybody. Don't let anyone drink around you. Don't let anyone drive around you is the most important part. Enjoy your Christmas. May Santa bring everything you've ever wished for, and your family have the most peaceful time and the happiest new year all the way into 2018. But until the next time, I will see you on the far side. I wish you a Merry Christmas.